Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Gamescom Day 6?
Feels
4?
like it
3?
sometimes.
Feels like it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but we are back again. More streaming, more content. This time, a little different today. We're going to be streaming from the AKA Fishbowl, as we call it here, in the Mixer booth. I'm joined on my right by Alex.
Hey, everybody.
We're going to be chatting a little bit and playing a little bit and watching some pretty cool content. Now, first up on the bat, we've got Age of Empires. You guys were excited about it. They announced this week.
Oh, big announce, big announce. Age of Empires
Big announce.
4
Big
is
announce.
coming.
And,
yes. And I know
Relic is making it, which is really, really damn impressive. Company of Heroes. So
Absolutely.
very excited to see what they
Glad
bring.
to have them. Glad to have them.
Very excited to see what they bring. But today's a little different again. I've got my laptop actually right here. I've got you guys in chat, by the way. Hello, chat. Hello. Say hi. Say hello. Say hello. People behind us, they'll be walking around, hopefully not being too trolly, but we'll see how it goes. This stream's going to go a little bit longer because we just want to kind of sit and chill and spend a little bit more with Age of Empires. Want to make sure we also take time to talk to you boys and girls here, bring some Gamescom content to you. And first up, we have two guests with us who are going to join us for this first segment. We have Tyler, a.k.a. Killer B.
Glad to be here.
Thanks. Glad to have you here. And Zach, a.k.a. ZeroEmpires.
Hey, guys.
Yes, I had to cheat, and I wrote down at least the a.k.a. So thank you guys for joining us.
Yeah.
You guys, speaking of, I mean, we'll back up a little bit before we even dive right into it. Age of Empires, obviously very passionate, very close to your heart. You guys are AoE casters, if I'm right.
Indeed, yeah. Age of Empires 2 is kind of our bread and butter. We cast matches in various different scenarios, mostly tournament matches, which we broadcast out for people to enjoy. And the game is alive, and the competition is really high. So
yeah. I'm involved as a caster and also as an organizer for events as well.
Well, that's fantastic, like community-based events.
Yeah, so we're doing various events for pro players, and we've actually got one over on Saturday in Hall 5.2 right
that's
here
right, you guys
as well.
have a big thing here Saturday.
Yeah, that's right. We've got 4 of the top players from Europe coming in, and they're going to play on stage basically the whole day. There's a lot of matches which we've got scheduled.
They're going to be up there a while.
Yeah, they will
But
be.
I mean, that's why we're all here, right?
Yeah.
We're all passionate, we're all excited, and then I like the idea here at Gamescom because everybody can get together, and everyone has their niches here. And so, obviously, this niche we're talking about today is Age of Empires. So, how long have you guys been casting?
I've been casting for like 6 years,
while?
2.
Wow.
So I've seen the game go from like a very small kind of niche game to being re-released in HD on Steam, and then this huge influx of people coming in. And we kind of just grew with it, I suppose. And yeah, it's been
I've
good.
been only doing it for a couple of years, and I actually got into it. I got back into Age because of Zach, Zero Empires, a couple other guys, Barbecue Turkman, Resonance. These guys were putting out these amazing videos of games, themselves playing sometimes, pro players playing sometimes.
Okay.
And I realized this game is alive, and it's really competitive, and I got kind of excited about watching these players interact.
Installed it, started playing it.
Exactly. I mean, that's literally how it happens.
So you mentioned the Age of Empires 2 HD edition coming back, kind of revitalizing that community.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Age of Empires DE? Is that
Yeah, we got to play it a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, Age 1 DE. I'm assuming you're talking about
Yeah,
Age 1 because they announced the Age 2 DE as well,
H2
and obviously there's so
H3D.
many new things coming, so it's always good to clarify since so many people are talking about all these different things. But yeah, I mean, Age 1 for me, personally, I don't think the game lends itself well to competitive multiplayer, but I think that it has a place in a lot of people's hearts because it was where the franchise began. And although Age 2 is the more competitive game, there's a lot of people who enjoy Age 1 for the campaigns and the single-player experience, which I think the Definitive Edition really makes accessible.
I think it's really important to point out that they really wanted to make sure the best of both worlds basically kind of got that new flavor. While the competitive scene is huge, still going strong, and if anything, maybe might inject even more life into it.
Yeah.
I like the idea that it also caters to people like me, campaign-based, who want to enjoy that single-player experience.
Yeah, I think it's still true to its form. It's still Age 1. Like, it still feels like the same game, but now you have some features that you always needed. You know, you can path a bit better, you can attack, move, you can do some things that the game needed at the time, but it's still true to its own form. The game itself is better graphics, beautiful artwork, but it's still the same game.
I know,
so
it looks gorgeous.
It's going to score huge points for nostalgia for me. I can't wait to get the full version.
I'm very excited.
Fantastic.
And then, of course, the big thing, Age 4.
Yeah.
Like, surprised? Expected?
Well, I think it was a surprise for
It was
you.
a surprise for me.
I've been put in there. I've known about it for 6 months now. So for me, it was like a huge event on Monday. There's going to be this huge announcement, and I would have loved to have been surprised in that moment. And it was an amazing moment when they announced it, and everyone was like, "Wow, yes, Age 4 is here." So many people excited. But for me, it was like, this is actually amazing, but I wish I could experience this for the first time right now.
Yeah,
and like, kind of be in the moment with the excitement with everybody else. But
being part of the show, obviously, a little bit of insider baseball.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. There was a woman next to me who had like goosebumps and was like getting a little bit emotional. It was.
People didn't. I know a lot of people on the stream watched it, but they might not have realized when it happened, and everyone kind of gathered around. It was almost like this kumbaya moment. So, I mean, if you were there, it's the only way you would have experienced it. But I remember looking around, and we had Shannon, GM of Microsoft Studios, all the hosts, all the fans were all like huddled around, and she's like, "All right, play the trailer." And then just like everyone got off the stage. It was really cool to see that. And then just the roar.
Yeah, you just feel the energy in the room. It was
I have
amazing.
a video of it, actually. I recorded the moment, like the splash popped up with 4. So, and I like the trailer. They kind of went through and wove the history of Age and the importance of it.
The coolest thing about us being there backstage is, you know, we don't do this for a living. We're not on set a lot. Just meeting all these people and hearing how passionate they really are about making this into a great game and a great franchise has been really cool. I mean, you expect that, but once you actually meet these people, you meet Shannon, for instance, you're like, okay, this person's on board.
Shannon
like,
is super, she is so enthusiastic about it, and she's passionate about it, and you can tell by just talking to her that she said to us, you know, this is something we've wanted to make happen for a long time. We've been building up to this, and I think a lot of people may be skeptical about 4 because it really has to live up to the expectation. As a Age franchise is so important to so many people that Age 4 has to be good. It has to live up to that expectation.
No, absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
We're gonna actually show some Age, and we're gonna play it a little later. We're here for a while, so buckle up, stay tuned, grab a drink, grab some snacks, because we're gonna talk about Age for a little while. But you guys actually had some matches that we were gonna kind of talk through.
Yeah, that's right. What we essentially have are the 2 best players in the game playing H2 HD on a competitive level. This is actually a tournament that they would have to have won to make it to the tournament we're having today. So we kind of had several small tournaments to build up to
so
today's
this is like
tournament.
almost the semifinals.
Some qualifiers.
Yeah, we had 4 qualifications, and each week we had 1 new qualification where 1 player would qualify to come here. And for Age of Empires 2, this is quite a big event because we don't have the opportunity to do LAN events very often, and I believe this is our first real big LAN in Europe. In the past, back when Microsoft were hosting the World Cyber Games and things, that was in, I believe that was in the US, and I think there's one in Korea. So Europe's always missed out on that, and
so
we're kind of bringing that now.
Get a little bit of that love.
Yeah.
Nice. But yeah, let's kick this off, and you guys are the pros, so I'm gonna watch and kind of see what goes on here. We'll switch it over on the stream so you guys can actually see what we're watching here. There we go. Cool. And then kind of walk us through, and this again, the best of the best are basically going out of here.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just gonna bring up the timer and the score down here because that helps us. So we do have a competitive match here, which was played a couple of weeks ago, as we say, a qualifier for the event we're doing on Saturday, between 2 of the best players in the world. TheViper is playing in the yellow. He was one of the players who has been at the top of Age of Empires 2 for many years now. And then his opponent is an absolute legend in the Age community, DauT, in the blue here. This guy has been playing since 2000.
Oh, wow.
And he's been dominant since 2003.
So this guy just lives, breathes, eats Age 2.
Yeah,
nice.
he has played this game for many, many years, and he's still one of the best players today. Viper is a younger guy. He really kind of rose to prominence maybe 3 years ago, and he's kind of, well, I'd say he reached #1 maybe about 3 years ago. And it's kind of been a heated battle between the top 10 just to kind of maintain that. Yeah.
Just to keep their spots up there. I like that.
Absolutely.
So since we're starting off in the Dark Age, maybe I can walk you guys through the dynamic of the game.
Absolutely.
So you start off with some natural resources that you can take on the map. For instance, you can see there are villagers under the town center here in the middle of our screen, chewing up sheep is what we would say. Those sheep will run out. They're a limited supply. You can also push deer toward your town center. Both of these obviously give you food. The next resource that's important are villagers up on this wood line. They're chopping wood. You need wood to build your buildings and to build certain units in the game. And then you'll find gold piles and stone piles scattered around the map. And a lot of the strategy of Age 2 is depriving your opponent of a resource or protecting a resource for yourself. If you can starve your opponent of gold, you're going to win the game 9 times out of 10.
Well, you live and die by these resources if I were, yeah.
You really do, and sometimes you see players adapt to the fact that they can't take their gold because it's in such an exposed place, and that's kind of the fun of the game. There's a lot of challenge involved with the map. But yeah, I just figured I'd give you the very basics of
yeah, no,
of this
there
game.
is also new people in chat. I see a couple of them are asking or are curious about it. So yeah, I like the idea of let's cater to both the new and the old players who've been around.
This is H2 HD edition.
Yep.
With the competitive scene, there have been 3 new DLCs released since the HD edition came out. Are any of those included in this, or is this just a base game?
Okay, so there's 2 kind of communities, competitive communities. Before HD edition and the new expansions came out, there was like, I think, I want to say 14 years of Age of Empires 2 The Conquerors. And that's where a lot of these players still play today. They still play the original Conquerors expansion as the core game competitively. But we do host events and tournaments on the HD edition with the new expansions.
Okay.
And it's really been a breath of fresh air to a lot of players because with all the new civilizations, the new gameplay mechanics that they add, the players are exploring new things, and it feels like, okay, well, there's actually new things to try, there's new things to discover. And that's part of what makes it really appealing as well, the fact that now, okay, we don't know the metagame anymore. We have to figure that out. So, yeah,
absolutely.
it's developed a lot. So in the early game, we were saying about the map, and in this game, like most RTS, you have a fog of war.
Oh, yeah.
And so you can see the light area is what he can currently see. The slightly darker area is explored, but he can't see what's happening there. And of course, the black area is completely unexplored. And our blue player DauT here, he's not really scouted that much. He's found his
kind of staying down there and building up his home base.
Yeah, well, he's using his scout cavalry, or he was using it, to actually push these deer towards his town center as an extra food source. Because in the early game, villagers cost food, and the key thing about this game is keep making villagers, because the more workers you have, the more resources you can collect, and the more resources you have, the more you can spend to kill your enemy.
There you go. I see him creating villagers.
Yeah, so he's non-stop queuing villagers until, of course, he wants to do a research or go up to the next age where he can unlock new technologies, new units.
And just to recap, what age are we in right now?
We're in the Dark Age right now. Yeah, so it starts in the Dark Age. It's really limited what you can do in the Dark Age. It's all about exploration. It's about gathering your natural resources like your sheep and your boar and your deer. And then once the natural food is run out, you move on to farms. And then that's like starting to get into the feudal age, where you can start unlocking the first military units, and then the aggression can begin. So really the start of the game is about exploring your own area, figuring out some kind of idea of what you want to approach in the game, like what kind of strategy you want to take. As we said, the map is very important, because if your resources are in a bad position, then you need to defend that, or you might want to play aggressively to protect that.
Yeah, that can really probably change how you even begin to start to play this kind of game.
Exactly.
And I see even he's exploring. He looks like he's got a scout way up in the top right, running around.
Absolutely, yeah. DauT is right now looking for
he's
the
looking
Viper.
he's looking for Viper.
Yeah, because
he's hunting.
Yeah, because you randomly generate where you're going to start on the map. What's worth pointing out to Zach's point is that you have to assess your map. For instance, DauT's got this big wood line on his left flank.
So he's got like a nice solid wood caving going.
Yeah, he's got a natural wall, and he's just building a little bit more walling, a little bit more structure, and now his whole left flank of his base is safe, because your villagers are the core of your ability to build units. If you don't have a good economy, you can't produce military. Yeah. So sometimes what really turns a game is raiding the opponent's economy. You might send in some units on a death mission, but if they kill villagers, then it can be worth it.
It might be worth it. That suicide squad,
Yeah, exactly. If you can reduce your opponent's resource income, then they can't. Next time you attack them, they can't make as many units to defend. So you're just kind of grinding
slowly,
them down.
like pecking away at them.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's also worth saying there's lots of different play styles.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So in the early game, as I say, it's a lot about scouting. And right now, our blue player, he's looking for his opponent because he's about to reach the feudal age.
Oh,
now
there we
all
go.
his buildings have upgraded. And now he's in the feudal age, he's going to start making a stable. And this is like his first military building after the barracks, which he's actually creating a spearman from right now, and the military production is going to start going. So a stable's going to come out, and he'll make some very weak scout cavalry.
Oh, there's his scout. That looks like a yellow scout.
That's his opponent, yeah. And so he's going to make some scout cavalry to go and try and find some villager kills, and his goal is to just find some villager kills in the early game.
Yeah, and one thing that's interesting here is that DauT's economy is perfectly sculpted for building scouts in the early game. So he's built exactly how many villagers he needs, and he has exactly that many on food and on wood. The Viper on the other side is doing a slightly different strategy. He sent villagers over to stone very early, and that suggests to us, you know, since we don't have Fog of War, we can tell that he's probably going to go for a tower rush. You need stone to build towers, and Teutons, the civ that they're playing, have really nice tower bonuses. So they'll be, we might see the Viper here coming forward with villagers, and you can actually see that happening now. So he's sending a small early army and some villagers to start towering his opponent to try to catch him off guard and disrupt his economy.
To quickly basically, I didn't even realize this was a strategy. So basically just pop up a random tower and it's going to start pecking away at him.
Yeah, so the best way to deal with an enemy tower is to build your own tower. So our blue player here, he sees...
Will they just gravitate towards each other and just start shooting at each other?
Yeah, exactly. You can see here the towers are just firing back and forth. And DauT now, the blue player, he's got his scouts out. And he's going to start bringing this tower down. And obviously the Viper, the yellow player, he's got units in that tower. And if he can kill those units, then that's a huge win for him. And there the villagers are now. They had to come forward to build it. And now, of course, they're easy pickings for these blue scouts.
But again, he's trying to peck away at him a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe throw him off guard, get him off his hilter.
Absolutely. This tower will disrupt this part of this wood line, and it takes away an extra gold
the gold
pile.
Yeah, he can't even peck away at the gold.
So if it can stay up in the long run, then it can really disrupt DauT's economy later in the game. But the blue player, DauT here, being the old school pro that he is, he was ready for this. He knows how to react to it and stops it. If the Viper tried to do that to one of us, it would work every single time. I mean,
it was actually a bad tower rush from Viper because he didn't send any spearmen with it. But DauT, actually a huge win for him because Viper sent 3 villagers across the map. They all died. And now DauT is moving out across the map with his scouts, and he's going to look for some kills of his own. So he's going to find this spearman here. And now there's a villager from Viper, which is exposed again because Viper wants to wall his map.
And again, losing every villager is very important.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So Viper is down by 4 villagers right now. And at the early stage of the game, when there's only 26 units on the map, that's a really big deficit for him to take. We'll follow these scouts a little bit because they're now coming in looking for more angles to attack. And he's going to find the gold here, look for another
pretty much
villager.
the point is just try to peck away at some villagers.
Yeah.
You just slowly pick up the stragglers or the ones that are out there collecting like gold, rock, or wood.
It's not even killing them sometimes. It's making them have to retreat back to the town center to safety and making sure that they can't be mining the gold that they need to.
Interesting.
So because the Viper is behind and because he failed that tower rush, he wants to wall his base. Because he's got a very open map. It's quite a big wall. You can see he's using houses.
Oh, he's using houses to even walk. There's some creativity there.
Exactly, yeah. You often see buildings coming up as part of the wall. And he wants to secure this because his gold is quite far forward, his stone is forward, and it's very difficult to protect this. So that's why he's coming out here to try and wall it up. DauT's going to come in with his scouts again, but Spearman counter cavalry. And so he's going to run away because that spearman could kill all 3 of his scouts since they're quite low health now.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So counter units are really important in this game. You know, spearmen are fantastic at dealing with scouts, but they're terrible at dealing with archers. So you always have these sort of counter triangles where...
Oh, so it's almost rock, paper, scissors play style, basically.
Yeah, exactly, and that's what makes it really great, because if you can anticipate what your opponent is doing, you can counter it.
And have your counter ready.
You have your counter ready. In this case, the Viper is way behind. He's trying to desperately counter his opponent's scouts. But what DauT knows on the other side of the map is that, okay, the Viper has to build spears. He has to try to counter my scouts. So he is like kind of leading the dance. Every game sort of has a person leading and a person who's like kind of trying to catch up a bit. And in this case,
his base is looking really good so far.
Yeah, DauT's
seeing good farmland. He's over here pecking away at his gold. He's got a wide open right side, but he's blocked off the back. He's kind of looks like he's kind of got the front covered.
Exactly, and he knows now that okay, well, my left side is covered, my front is covered. My enemy can only come from one direction, and that's a really important piece of knowledge. But he also knows that Viper is walling up. So he knows that Viper is probably just hiding behind his walls right now. And so we would say DauT has great map control, and he can move out with his army. He knows he's probably not going to run into any trouble, and he's trying to get some information. Now, of course, for Viper, because he's walled up, DauT can't get scouting information from him. He can't go in there and see what he's doing, and so he only has to assume or guess what Viper might be doing behind those walls.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So he can no longer peck in really quickly and see where his current status is to get a feel for him. He's completely in the dark, even though he's like on the weaker one right now, kind of on the downside.
Yeah.
He's still using that to his advantage, his map placement, to make sure the other guy is like, oh, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what I should be preparing for.
So, although you could never be sure what your opponent is doing when they're walled up, you can take a good guess. And the reason you can do that is because this game has a really defined meta game. So you can make very solid assumptions about what your opponent might do based on their civilization or the map that you're playing. So in this case, the Teutons, Viper's building a second building. That's sustainable, I imagine. It is. And I can tell you that that's sustainable without looking at the building, because the Teutons have very good knights. And so he wants to make the knights and take advantage of the stronger units that they have, whereas their crossbowmen in the Castle Age, which is their ranged unit, not quite as good for the long term.
Interesting. And I see he's also even got archers up. Blue economy looks really healthy right now.
It is. And so the next stage of the game is the Castle Age. So we've gone through the Dark Age, which is the exploration, the Feudal Age, which is where most games don't end in the Feudal Age.
Yeah, that's where you're really just starting to get your army built.
You're starting to build up. You're starting to look to just harass a little bit, do some damage to your opponent's economy. And then the
Not really going for that W at that point.
Exactly, yeah. It's difficult to win in the Feudal Age because your town center, which you start with, where you create your villagers, it's really good at killing Feudal Age units. You cannot kill a town center with Feudal Age units. You need to get to the Castle Age to get some siege, and generally speaking, take down walls and buildings in general. You need to be in the Castle Age to do that, and that's the next stage of the game now, and that's where things can really start heating up. That's where players will really start committing to making more stronger military units.
I'm assuming some W's can come out of that age.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes you can win in the Feudal Age, but more often than not, it will end in the Castle Age here.
Yeah, and one interesting thing to factor in at this point is these players are trying to make decisions without all the information that we can see. So they're, for instance, DauT decided to go up a little later to Castle Age, whereas Viper went up earlier. He wants the Castle Age units that can do more damage to see if he can raid his opponent's economy a little bit.
So he's making knights right now from his 2 stables, and knights are, I would say, the strongest Castle Age unit that you can make from this, like the standard buildings. So your barracks, your stable, and your archery range. Those are the 3 sort of core.
And he just built something way out there, I noticed.
And this is interesting. Viper is coming forwards now with with a villager and dropping down a monastery and a siege workshop. So if you're a fan of Age of Empires 1, you know what Wololo means.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to do the same with the monk in Age of Empires 2, creating a monk right now from this monastery here. And he's also adding a siege workshop because he wants to destroy his opponent's buildings. He'll probably make a mangonel, which is like the catapult, or maybe a ram, depending on.
I am curious, though, why would he want to put them way outside it? Or I feel like it's outside his base. I mean, it's close enough he could defend it if something goes wrong, but instead of putting it like behind his town center, more towards the black wall.
It's high risk, high reward, and everything is a trade-off. So Viper wants to be very aggressive right now because DauT was slower to reach the Castle Age than him. So he wants to be aggressive. He wants.
And we can see now the visual of the Castle Age.
Yeah, absolutely. All the buildings upgrade, and they become, like, you know, visually very different. The reason why he's adding the monastery is because he can convert the knights. And if he can convert the knights, that's a huge win for him because knights cost more than monks. So, well, a monk is 100 gold.
Right.
And a knight is 60 food and 75 gold. So it's not quite the same cost on gold, but not only do you convert it, well, you know, if you keep your monk alive. Oh, this is, we'll talk about this.
Yeah, it's a really good point. There's always a cost benefit for these things. You build a monk, it's an expensive unit, but if you can convert a knight, it's worth it. What the Viper is trying to do here is take over the aggressive part of the match. He's decided that he's going to forego building up his economy in a big way and put it into military and see if he can damage DauT's eco.
Rush a small army to maybe cripple him a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. He's trying to make a play to take the game back over.
Absolutely. This was a really good play from DauT, actually. He killed 2 monks without taking a conversion, so his knights never got converted. and he lost his mangonel. Viper lost his mangonel. At that point, Viper, the yellow player, he calls game. Just like that.
Yep.
He what?
He's saying good game.
GG.
It's
Oh,
over.
right
You
there.
resigned. Give it up.
All he did was lose 2 monks, and then just.
Well, he was behind by those villagers early on. He made a big play to try to take the game back over.
Trying to play catch up, and it just didn't pan out.
Exactly. And once his opponent was able to stop that big play, that was a last-moment desperation push.
Yeah.
He was all in on that push, and since it died, the game is over. This is a pretty short match, but it's a pretty good example of this game on a competitive level. If you fall behind even a little bit, or if you make the wrong strategy decision once or twice, you can really end up losing it.
That's really crazy, the idea that they can, I mean, the level of experience I'm sure it takes, and they are definitely at, to where you can just read the situation without even finishing. You're like, okay, yeah, at this point, it's just a Hail Mary,
And that's the beauty of the game, because the Viper knows his situation, DauT knows his situation, and they're both trying to mentally find a way to like get the other person out of the game and finish them off. Try to be a little tricky sometimes.
And I'm seeing some comments here in the chat. This is high-level competitive gameplay that we're looking at right now.
Yeah. Arguably the best 2 players in the world.
Absolutely. If you're not at that level, you can definitely still play the game, enjoy it. There's lots of campaigns, matchmaking, multiplayer.
Yeah.
All different kinds of gameplay.
And campaign, there's a lot of love for campaign.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's a chess-like ranking system. So if you want to find a match with somebody who's at your level, you can do that no matter what level you are.
That way you don't just jump right in and then because I definitely don't want to play someone like this.
You don't want to play the Viper yet. Maybe
I don't know if I
years.
ever want to play the Viper. I definitely just want to have fun. And for me personally, campaign. But I like the idea here is because there's also competitive people in here. And it's worth iterating. We've been chatting here about half an hour. Just want to make sure we say again, welcome to Gamescom, of course. We're streaming live here from the show floor. We might even be shouting a little bit because it's very loud here. We've got no roof on our stream room, so we're here in the glass bowl that we call it in the mixer booth. We, of course, joined by the very talented Tyler and Zach. Thank you guys, of course, for joining us. We're showing off Age of Empires, all things Age of Empires, and celebrating the announce and whatnot. And we're going through a couple of plays here. I know you got another one you'll queue up here in a second.
Yeah, sure.
That we're going to walk through, but and then we got a pirate band yelling at us over there.
Yeah.
It's like they're putting on like a mini pirate concert,
There's a lot going on here. It's huge. But yeah, I just wanted to go back to this. I mean, this game was basically won in 2 places. Viper losing so many villagers early on. I think he lost 6 villagers in total, which at this early stage of the game is so hard to recover from. And the second thing is that, as we said before, he made this really all-in attempt to push DauT and take the win right there. And when it backfired, this one fight, he knew that it was over. So it really can come down to very easily definable.
Literally by a couple of villagers. It sounds like had those 6 villagers not been lost, we might be seeing a whole nother game, a whole nother ending.
Exactly. And this was a fairly short game. This is a fairly quick one, but I think we can load up another one here. I'm not sure if we get the. Okay, that's migration. We don't want that.
While you do that, let me just ask, because our job is to win you over, Alex. I mean, how are you feeling so far? Do you think this is a game that you could approach and try to get into and play, or is it a little scary?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I told you guys before, I tend to play a lot more single-player games, strategy, but I've had a lot of fun with Age of Empires, and so it's definitely going to give it another shot.
Yeah, it always impressed me how big the competitive scene is. That really blew me away when I came back to this game. Like, I can't believe there's all these people who are basically fighting for the opportunity to be the best player in this game, and they just do it because they love this game.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of tournament money on the line for a very long time until very recently with the tournament that
it was
will
more
be
of a hobby.
Saturday. It was a hobby. It was a bunch of guys who
about
loved
pride.
it. Yeah.
And I guess like sometimes you'd get someone who is a fan of the game who might have done quite well for themselves, and they'll sort of sponsor a tournament. But it's a very like one-off thing. It comes every now and then where someone will come in and put, we did actually have a couple of years ago, we had a $120,000 tournament.
Oh, wow.
Which was sponsored by an anonymous sponsor from Dubai. And he put this money up because he just loves the game.
He's just super passionate about the game, super nerdy. Obviously had the money and just anonymously put up that much. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of really speaks to the passion of the community. For someone to throw up $125,000 just for the sake of wanting to get people together and celebrate it.
Yeah.
And we have at the moment as well a Nations Cup which is running, which I think is $30,000. which is sponsored by a Chinese team owner as well, because the game is very big in China. And I think if you go back to Definitive Edition for Age 1, the most popular sort of region is Asia. You have Vietnam, a huge number of people playing Age 1 over there, competitively as well.
That's insane. It's good to see also that it's kind of worldwide.
Oh,
it's not just like a pocketed regional kind of game. It's really celebrated kind of all over. And I mean, it has its pockets, but the pockets are all over the world.
Yeah.
Well,
it's kind of
H2 definitely international.
The beauty of the Nations Cup is it's sort of like the Olympics. Like, teams are coming in. We have 5 teams from Argentina and 6 teams from Brazil, and all these teams coming from all different countries to represent their nation and to play with their mates back home. And it's a really cool thing to be able to experience. I mean, there is a lot of money on the line, but a lot of players enter this out of pride. Like, I know I'm not going to win, but I might want to play for the USA because that's my
You want to represent?
I played for the UK, and Germany had 7 teams competing, and teams of 4 as well.
Jeez.
I think there was 54 teams in the Nations Cup,
That's
and
insane.
I think there was over 400 players registered as well for that. So it was a huge international gathering of players, and it's of course all done online. And what we're trying to do here is bring it's Europe-centered, because it's easier for us to get the players to Gamescom for this. And yeah, I mean, it's a good opportunity for them as well.
Yeah.
Nice. And now you've loaded up another match, it looks like.
Yeah.
This one's going, now we're on a snow level, or, well, just different, it's randomly generated. And I see it's the Viper, and who's he playing against?
It's the same, this was a best of 5, and it's Viper versus DauT once again. Viper will be in the yellow, DauT will be in the blue.
And DauT this time is against the wall, so he's got a nice back there.
Yeah, this map is called Golden Pit, and the interesting thing we said before about the distribution of resources and how the map is really important. There's a lot of different maps in H2. This one is Golden Pit, and you can see in the middle of the map you have this pit, and you have all the gold. So players will have to fight over this at some point in the game.
And there is gold around the map, but this is like the pit, or is that all the gold?
No, there is a small amount of gold. This is
there's a smidge enough to get built up, right?
Yeah, it's enough to get you to a certain point in the game, but there will come a time where if the game isn't won, players will have to fight over that center map control. And in this game, hills are really important. If you're fighting from uphill, you get an attack bonus if you're fighting downhill.
Oh, you do?
So, I mean, for a game that was released in '99, to have like hill bonuses and all of that.
I had no idea. I played many hours of this, and I had no idea that even was a thing.
If you attack downhill, you get 25% attack bonus. If you attack uphill, it's 25 debuff.
Down. Wow. Okay.
So
and the gold is up on the hill, it looks like.
So the gold is in the pit, which makes it harder to defend.
Oh, it's down in the pit, so they'll be
people
firing
coming
down.
from the outside get the bonus coming down.
Now, when this map loads, do they already know it's this map?
Yeah.
Okay, so they didn't have to explore and figure it out.
Of course, but the map itself is randomly generated, so the resources can be in different places. And that's one of the beauties of Age of Empires 2, and something that a lot of the players really love, that when they go into a game, they know the map, like the map name, they know the structure of the map, but every map is completely different in terms of the placement of the resources, so every time, you kind of got to figure it out.
So we've got a Drush coming in. This is a relatively weak early game attack trying to disrupt that early economy. But if you guys don't mind, I'd like to pause it just for a second and point out both of these players are playing with the Malian civilization. And every civ in Age of Empires has basically different bonuses from other civilizations and different units available. So for instance, we can't build Eagle Warriors with this civ. And as we cycle through civilizations, there are different variables that you have to work with. For instance, Malians have cheaper buildings, their barracks units are a little tougher, and their gold mining upgrades are free. And those bonuses are going to impact how these players play the game.
And especially on a map like this, I feel like those perks are really going to speak to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So they've chosen these civs just because of these bonuses.
Yep.
And sometimes often you get a game where 2 players are playing different civilizations, and it becomes a match of, I know what your civilization does best. Your civilization builds the best knights. I'm going to build the best counter to knights that my civ can make, and I'll be ready for you. And there's like this chess match posturing that you don't get when 2 players only have the same variables to work with.
Now, when that queues up, do the players know what each other's civilization, or do they have to run into each other?
Say again?
Do they already know the civilizations,
Yes.
or do they find that out when they run into
So
each other?
they'll, right when the game starts, they can open a menu and see
And see
their
it,
opponent's
okay.
civ.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it will be hidden until the match starts.
Okay.
So sometimes you can surprise your opponent with a good pick.
Kind of throw them a curveball.
Yeah.
Wow.
So when the players are picking, it depends on the rules of the event. Each event has different rules. But if you've got an event, say a lot of what we do hidden picks. So players won't know what their opponent is picking to prevent counter picking coming into play. I also wanted to add as well that each civilization, as well as their unique bonuses, they also have a unique unit which they train from the castle. And they also have unique technologies which are available in the castle as well. And on top of all that, they even have a team bonus. And obviously, what we're watching right now is a 1v1. And these team bonuses do apply to them as well. But it's also a way to help your team with your civilization as well. So
you can also buff up each other.
oh, you have some really good synergies with the team bonuses. But we can resume, I think, yeah?
Yeah, in the multiplayer environment, synergizing with your opponents is absolutely paramount. And having your position on the map, how your team is positioned can actually win or lose you the match or make it very
I
difficult.
was going to say, even the best player could get a terrible position and really struggle. Him or her could really struggle with that from the beginning.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, this is part of the game, the posturing before the game starts. Who's going to pick what civ? What map is going to be my home map that I can carry a win on? What map am I going to try to take for my opponent?
It's like a chess piece where you also get to pick your pieces before you lay them down.
Exactly.
Yeah, makes sense.
So what we're seeing here is a drush. Like I said, it's a very weak early game attack, but it's meant to disrupt the economy.
Maybe say, we call this a drush. It's basically a shortening of Dark Age Rush. And you'll hear that a lot, like Trush, Tower Rush, Flush, Feudal Age Rush. That's an abbreviation that a lot of the casters will use.
Sure.
Yeah.
So right now what we're seeing is DauT's base. DauT's again in the blue. The Viper in the yellow is trying to get into DauT's economy. DauT has seen this coming, so he's built some relatively cheap walls to keep those units out. And since they're weak units, it will take them a very long time to get through those walls.
Oh.
So he's been able to counter his opponent's aggression by walling in some of his resources. And the Viper here might continue to roam around DauT's economy and try to find some weak vills who aren't walled in. And you can see he's doing that now. He's headed to the south to see if he can get to this wood line that DauT is establishing. All that the Viper is looking for here is a minor disruption in DauT's economy, because that little advantage can give him basically a springboard for the later game.
We saw that last time. Death of 6 villagers gave him that up.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, walling is a really important part of this game.
I've never seen that strategy before. I haven't watched a ton of competitive, but it's interesting to see a defensive item used offensively.
Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of walling, you can even wall offensively as well. Sometimes you see players going across the map, and they'll go and wall their opponent's gold. So their opponent can't take their gold because they built walls around it.
I love
we
that.
call that laming. Some tournaments don't allow laming, and there's certain rules which say, hey, you can't lame your opponent. You can't steal their resources, for example. You can't go and wall up their resources. In this game, there's no anti-laming rule, but neither players, they're both gentlemen. They won't lame each other. But walling is a very strong thing to do in H2, and you can see you don't even have to wall your whole base. If you can see the drush coming, you can wall up just a couple of patches and keep them out.
And again, you're just trying to get that he's trying to get that strategic edge, essentially. Or if anything, annoy him to distract him.
Yeah, and it cuts both ways. If you invest resources in an army and you can't do damage with it, your opponent can defend it well and absorb that aggression, then they are in the lead in the game. You have those units, but they're really weak. So
It's
your
essentially
opponent,
resources wasted at that point.
it's all cost benefit. Yeah, I mean, you have to take a gamble at some point in the game and try something, but you can always get bit if you try the wrong thing.
Yeah. And so in this case, Viper has even upgraded his militia into men-at-arms, which is the next tier.
Yeah, they're just still going at it over there.
Yeah, they do more damage to buildings. They have a little bit more health.
And I see he just hit the feudal age a little bit ago, too, now.
Sorry?
He just hit the feudal age. I
Yeah,
just
they
noticed
both
as well.
did hit feudal. So this unit unlocks in the feudal age, and it's a direct upgrade to the militia. So you have these lines of units, but now DauT's coming out with 3 archers, and so far Viper has got no value out of this army. He's invested 60 food and 20 gold into each one of these men-at-arms, plus the men-at-arms upgrade, and if he loses them now, he's done no damage with them, and it's essentially wasted.
So while we watch this fight develop, are there any questions from the chat that we can jump into?
Yeah, I was going to say chat as well while we're listening to this
sure
pirate
we're acknowledging
concert.
the good people out there.
Let me scroll up here and see. I saw some people talking about it. There's a lot of comments. Let's see if we do have any questions.
Okay, well, if the chat does
people
have
are
any
talking about
questions.
campaign in Age 4. Nothing was announced. They just showed the trailer, but a lot of hopes and ambitions around the Age 4 campaign.
Yeah.
Kind of curious if you guys have any dreams or wishes, or.
Well, I think for all Age games, the campaign has always been a really core part of the game. For me, you know, I enjoyed the Age 3 campaign, and I never really played the multiplayer in Age 3, even though Age 2 is like my game, I would say, you know. And I think the campaign has always been done well, and I think the campaign is a key thing that everybody will look forward to, because there are a lot more single-player players out there than multiplayer.
It's a good introduction as well, because what'll happen is a ton of people play the campaign, and then some of them will filter off into the competitive area. Some of them will stay with the campaign. Some of them will start playing with their friends.
One of the cool things to me as a fan of history is how accurate the campaigns have been. I mean, as you go through school, you start to realize, like, oh, wow, those Age of Empires campaigns were actually depicting real events. And some of these special units are real units that were pivotal to the armies of these
I hear all the time about kids at school who learn history by playing Age of Empires.
Yes, exactly. I actually was inspired to extend my history studies because of this game. And this civilization, the Malians, this is a really cool unit. Their unique unit is the Gabeto. Malians, obviously an African civilization from West Africa. And the Gabeto is the only female military unit that you can train in a standard game that isn't a hero unit. And these are based off of real women who fought in West Africa. They were fearsome women, and they would actually, I think the French came over to Africa, and they were fighting against these women. And the French, even though they won the fight, they noted down, like, these were some of the fiercest, most courageous warriors we've ever met in battle.
That's insane. And I love, and I think that's across all the Age of Empires, the attention to detail and history like that. Because they want to be accurate with that. And I like the idea that you can have special infantry or special perks, and maybe that in history they were really known for gold mining or being able to, you know, mine rocks, you know, stone.
And if you're interested in finding out more about that, the game does have a history section as well, where they detail the history of the civilizations and the units. The Gabeto is based on the Dahomey Amazons, if anyone's interested in looking that up, because they were badass.
and another cool thing here is, like, a lot of these armies wouldn't have interacted. Right? Like, they might not have been geographically close enough. They might not have been at their peak at the same time.
They wouldn't have fought each other. Could have been centuries apart.
So as a nerd, it's pretty cool to say, like, what would it have been like if the Mongols were fighting, you know, fighting this civ that they might have never interacted with? It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
But obviously, you know, it all has to go through a filter. So you take the inspiration from history, and then you kind of put it through this game design filter so that you can fit it into the game, but also make sure it's not too overpowered, make sure it, like, you know, it works within the world of Age of Empires 2, because you can't do certain things without kind of just breaking the way the game feels, if you know what I mean.
So let me just quickly tell you what's happening in this match. So DauT in the blue has archers and skirmishers. Skirmishers counter archers. They have these shields. They can take a lot of range damage. Yeah, they're fine against a big group of archers. The Viper here has more archers than DauT does. And if we look at the upgrades, we can see Viper has +1 damage, +1 defense, and DauT has the same upgrades. Often players will want to wait till they have an upgrade advantage to take a fight. Right now, DauT is fighting uphill, like we talked about before.
Yeah,
the
that's
hill
definitely
bonus
a disadvantage.
will help the Viper a lot, but the Viper has units that are somewhat countered by DauT's army. So both guys are somewhat interested in this fight, and they'll fight until they figure
a bit of a stalemate, kind of keeping each other busy theoretically till they come up with another angle.
Yeah, I'd say that fight was about even, to be honest. And obviously, DauT did back away because Viper was on the hill, and he doesn't want to risk losing his whole army in that moment, because that can really swing the game. And this game is very much about momentum as well. If one player starts to gain that momentum, it can be very difficult to stop that. And at some point, you know, if they're destroying, if it gets to the point where your enemy is destroying your military production buildings, you're in big trouble, because you can't make units to stop them anymore.
Right, and you need that counter.
Exactly. I would say as well that there are a lot of, like, hidden bonuses and things you have to understand the counters, and that is something that does take time with this game. We know that skirmishers counter archers, but it might not be immediately obvious by looking at the UI down here. As you can see, the skirmisher only has 3 attack right now, whereas the archer has 5 attack. But the skirmisher still does more damage to the archer because there are hidden bonuses in the game.
Because they have that bonus.
And you kind of have to discover that through playing.
I feel like, a lot of competitive people, because they played so long, that's just a memorization. Just visually they see or know that unit, and it's just, you almost see that gif where like the math is all flying around and he's trying to think through it. I feel like that's what one of these like top competitive players is doing, is he's just analyzing, or she's analyzing basically.
Yeah, and right now what we're watching is these guys making a decision to go with a slightly different build order. They're both essentially building a feudal army, which they're going to upgrade when they get into the Castle Age. DauT is going to be in Castle Age first, so if he can find the Viper's army with his new upgrades, he can crush it really easily. Just like you might expect, the more upgraded units do a lot of damage. Viper here is going up a little later, but he's going to sneak in a couple hidden stables that DauT doesn't know about. And he's hoping to be able to get some knights across the map to deal with this
army. A little bit of a surprise, and kind of, because I see they're just like chasing each other back and forth.
Yeah, exactly,
these skirmishes in the feudal age, as we said before, they rarely just end the game. Both players eventually getting up to the Castle Age now as they build up their economies back at home.
Fights in the feudal age are just all strategic. No win, no push.
Yeah,
it's just a little more strategic, basically to get something done, whether it's a distraction, wipe out a couple of people, take something.
So right here on the screen, we see there on the bottom, we see there's a relic.
Yeah.
And those, can you kind of explain what those are used for?
Of course.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so relics are items that can only be picked up by monks. And if you control a relic inside of a monastery, you get a certain amount of gold. You get a steady gold income. There are 5 relics on this map, and if you can get all 5, it's a really big chunk of gold.
Yeah, that's a lot
time.
of. You almost don't even need the center pile. Maybe in some way, shape, or form, where you could use that to push for the center pile, maybe?
Yeah, the relics are, in a lot of matches, I mean, this is an exception because this map has a lot of gold. It's kind of like it's focused around that.
Okay.
But some maps may not have a huge amount of gold available. And so if you can control the relics and the gold on the map runs out, then obviously you're going to have this extra gold income. And generally speaking, the units in the game that cost gold are going to be stronger. And a lot of the things like siege you can't make without gold. And so if you want to destroy your opponent's base, you need the gold in order to do that. Or if you want to get an advantage, you need the gold to do that. So gold is a key resource as the game goes on. And in a 1v1, there's no way to generate gold infinitely without relics. In a team game, you can trade and generate gold that way. But unlike Age of Empires Online, which had a mechanic where you could trade with yourself, you can't generate gold any other way once it runs out on the map.
When the gold is out, it's out.
It's out, yeah.
So go ahead.
I was just going to say, to go on from that, denying your opponent's gold is really important. You can see this here. Viper's going to deny the gold from DauT. But also, you get these situations sometimes where if the gold does run out, you can end up with an incredibly long game because neither player can break the stalemate with the gold units that they need to do so.
Yeah, so what we saw here was the Viper has a smaller army, but he wanted to see if he could dive into DauT's economy and do some damage. But what he found is that DauT is walled in on this side, and he's also created a pocket, probably on purpose to trap his opponent.
A little bit of a death pocket to get kind of rambled up in there.
Exactly, and even though the Viper will retreat away from this fight, he'll lose more than half of his army in that battle. And now DauT's army, because he had so many units, continues to get really great trades. So DauT here is in a great spot to win this game because he controls the map. He's got the bigger army. If he wants to come to the middle and try to start taking this gold, the Viper can't really stop him. What the Viper's done to try to deal with this is he's transitioned into building knights.
Yeah, I say he's got his hidden knights leveled up.
Exactly, and he's waiting to get a critical mass of these so he can come in and crush DauT's army. But it's going to take quite a few more than he has right now.
Yeah, it's interesting as well how it develops because crossbowmen alone, like one crossbowman will die to a knight.
Oh.
Because the knight is much stronger than the crossbow. However, once you get to 30 crossbowmen, the crossbowmen start to win because they can start one-shotting the knights.
Basically just an boom, boom.
Yeah.
There's just so much damage coming out of that group.
Yeah, the number of units in your army, when you go for crossbowmen, you need to hit what we call like the critical mass, which is where you can start one-shotting a knight. At that point, the crossbowmen are stronger, and until that point, the knights are a little stronger. And depending on the situation, the Knights can be more versatile. You know, it really depends on the map. Obviously, your ranged units can shoot over walls, which is a huge advantage. Whereas the Knights, they can go underneath town centers, and they can withstand a lot more arrow fire from defensive buildings, for example.
It sounds like, yeah, he's definitely trying to double down on the Knights, at least for the push for this. Which, I mean, I guess could be a high risk, high reward if he were to lose them, like heaven forbid.
Yeah, absolutely. The Viper here is trying to, he's actually kind of camping the center of the map, and I think he's waiting for reinforcements and stragglers and maybe even some villagers to come to the middle.
Oh yeah,
so
they're
that he
starting
can
to
kill
build.
them. In the meantime, we have DauT trying to push in with his archers in the north, trying to damage the Viper's economy. So both players are posturing around each other and trying to find some easy pickings at this point in the game. They don't want to go all in, but here comes the fight. The Viper
This is a
will
good
run
fight
in.
for DauT here. You can see how he's bringing the Knights down really quickly, but he's also
They're just
micromanaging.
almost essentially like one-shotting him, yeah.
He's also micromanaging his army as well. So it's all about those little movements, getting small advantages where you may not otherwise have one by moving your army very carefully. And look at these Knights, they're going down. And this is a great fight for DauT because his units cost him less as well.
Oh. Yep, I can see the advantage here then, where he's basically wiped out all of his Knights. Probably dealing a little bit of a blow because he's got a proper counter. Meanwhile, makes me wonder, like, from a strategic point now, what does he do? Does he keep building more Knights, or does he have to kind of shift his strategy?
Well, Viper's strategy now is the Mangonel. I like to call the Mangonel the great equalizer. When you're down, one good Mangonel shot can save the day.
Really?
So, well, the Mangonel will kill all of this army in one hit, if it hits.
Can it really? Oh, wow.
Yeah, if it hits. It has to hit. And so, DauT, this is where the micromanagement starts to heat up. Once you get these units on the map like Mangonels, which can potentially wipe your entire army out in one solid hit, you have to really pay attention to your army. You have to make sure that he doesn't get that shot. And at the same time, you've got to manage your economy. So all the while he's controlling his units out here, he's back at home, and he's building his base as well. So there's a huge amount going on at this stage of the
right,
game.
'cause while we're maybe just seeing the battling that's happening up front, there's all other, I mean, somebody of that nature and that competitive can probably really micromanage the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And just back, forth, back, forth.
Absolutely, and what the Viper's done here, he's gone with 3 town centers, so he's spending a lot of resources building up his economy. And we call this booming, because once you hit a certain level of villagers, you have enough production of resources to pump out military units at a really, really high level. So even though DauT has Viper locked in his base, the Viper can push back out of this if he can finish his boom. If he can get to maybe about 100 villagers, he can really start pushing hard. DauT on the other side has map control. He's building his town centers later, his extra town centers, but notably, since he controls the middle,
He's got one right up there.
he's going to build one on the gold, and this is like the biggest advantage you could have on this map, having control of that
so
gold.
right now that's really probably elevating like any power he has, being right there. Because every time they mine and they take that away, it's also one less he can collect if he were to be able to push and take it back.
Exactly.
So one key thing about the Castle Age is in the Castle Age you are able to start building new town centers. And so that's going to allow you to increase
Because that's held
your
back
villager.
until then, right?
Sorry?
That's held back until you hit the Castle Age.
When you get to the Castle Age, that's when you unlock the ability to add your second, your third, your fourth town center. And at the early Castle Age, you have the choice. I can invest my resources into making more military, or I can invest my resources into my economy and reap the rewards later on. And obviously, you've got to find that balance, because if you don't have enough military, you can just lose the game. If you don't have enough economy, then eventually your opponent will catch up and start to win.
So there's a big moment happening here. The Viper's sending villagers forward. He's going to try to drop a castle. Castles are really strong units, of course. You build them with stone. They resist arrow fire, so they would counter DauT's army really nicely. DauT's trying to stop the Viper from finishing this castle with his military in the middle. Viper is really all in on this push. He has to have this go up. So he's sending a massive chunk of his economy.
He's sending everybody.
Yeah, he has to get this castle built, and the more villagers he sends, the faster that castle will go up. DauT is decimating the Viper's army, but the Viper's bought quite a bit of time, and he should be able to finish this castle in the long run, and that will really damage DauT's ability to take this gold.
So the castle goes up, and this is really important for Viper now.
Oh yeah, look at all of his village. Oh wait, are they trying to build another castle, or are they just noping out?
DauT is going to try and build a defensive castle here. So, like we said with the towers before, one of the best ways to stop a tower push is to build your own tower. one of the best ways to prevent Castle giving Viper a platform to push into DauT is to build your own defensive castle.
But that castle's already attacking and picking off these villagers one by one.
Absolutely. If DauT gets too close, that castle will kill his units very, very quickly. And Viper's doing this because he needs that gold. You can see he's immediately come here to start gathering gold with that castle in order to protect his villagers, basically.
And what both players are doing here on the side is a little bit of a cheeky move. They're building watchtowers. They're not nearly as strong as the castle, but the castle here only has a certain amount of range. So, for instance, the Viper can't disrupt DauT's economy here. It's just too far away on the map.
Yeah, it just doesn't have the reach. Yeah, I see he's got villagers building on the outskirts.
Yeah, he's building towers. Even though it's not as powerful of a building, it's still going to disrupt the Viper's economy and give him a slight edge. DauT sending a ram in there. Those are very arrow-resistant siege
there we
units.
go. Now we
to
got
knock the
dueling
building
castles.
down. Yeah, exactly.
And then he's got this. Is that a big siege unit or?
Yeah, so these are rams coming in. They're very weak against melee damage, but they resist arrow fire. So those rams are going to hopefully rub noses with these buildings and be able to knock them down. So DauT is trying to keep the pressure on the Viper with a little bit of siege here. The Viper invested a ton of resource into the castle, into the tower, sending these villagers forward, but he still hasn't been able to actually safely take gold. So DauT is in a really great position in this match.
Yeah, if you look at the population, DauT right now has 104, I believe that says. And Viper is at 84, so
oh wow.
DauT has this 20 population advantage right now, which he can now use to try and pressure Viper some more. But Viper, on the other hand, he's advancing to the Imperial Age, which is our final age. And the Imperial Age is really important because at that point, in this case, it's important because he can build trebuchets. And his goal here is, I'll reach the Imperial Age, I'll make a trebuchet, and I can destroy DauT's castle. So his main goal right now is, I need to take that castle away from DauT, and then I can control the middle of the map. And he's all in on that. And meanwhile, DauT is more
basically
committed
everything
here.
he's focusing on is trying to get that thing down.
Yeah.
And then again, the arrows aren't going to be hurting this, right?
No, no. And in this case as well, DauT's like, well, I want to take Viper's castle down, but instead of going to the Imperial Age, or he's actually on the way up as well, but he's going to commit resources now with the Rams to try and bring this down as well.
It's a lot of punch and counter punch in this game. You kind of know when you're behind, but you always have a way to try to get yourself out of it. And if you can execute your strategy in a way that your opponent doesn't see what's coming, you can win. In this case, DauT has been in the lead for quite a while. Building these rams is keeping the Viper very defensive, but now the Viper will build a mangonel. He will push the rams away and hopefully get to the Imperial Age and, like Zach said, get a trebuchet out and start to win the center. But because gold is so limiting on this map, the clock is really ticking for the Viper. He's got to make something happen very soon.
Yeah, because right here, blue is DauT.
Yeah.
Yeah, DauT looks, he's been mining that for a while now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Viper has he had about 50 gold. He's using his market, which is not an efficient way, but he's basically selling resources to get
He's
gold.
making the trebuchet now, and he's going to get that out behind, and he's going to start throwing those 90-kilogram projectiles, 300 meters or whatever it is, and he's going to try and bring down DauT's castle. But DauT will be in the Imperial Age as well. He'll make his own trebuchet, and then you start getting these trebuchet lines. You get players just massing a lot of trebuchets, firing back and forth, and we'll start seeing that breaking out. But meanwhile...
And he's in there.
Yeah, it looks like DauT snuck an army in even under our noses. He's gone into the Viper's economy. The Viper evacuated a lot of villagers from this area, but of course he's not farming, and all those villagers are idle. They might as well be dead at the moment until they can come back out and work. Viper's trying to defend this with a mangonel and some knights. He's trying to posture around just right to avoid arrow fire to get his mangonel in close. DauT here is just using this army that's not going to be super useful for him in the late game to try to pick off vills. Really nice mangonel shot from Viper, kills a lot of these units. In the end, the Viper will clean this up pretty easily, and DauT will have a couple
strategic area is to try to get a couple villagers, maybe
villagers.
cause some disruption about what's going on in the center of the map.
Absolutely. At this stage of the game, he doesn't care about that army anymore. That's a suicide run. That's like, I'm going to do as much damage as I can with this army before they become obsolete.
Oh, and then it looks like he's got a trebuchet now.
Yeah, now we've got trebuchets coming out.
We got on both sides.
Yeah, and he's even building a quick gate here as well to prevent those knights from getting in. Those knights will take down the trebuchets quite quickly, and those knights are now upgraded into Cavalier, which is the next tier above knight, which is only available in the Imperial Age. And DauT will come in here, and it looks like he'll take down all 3 of those trebuchets, and that is a huge win for him, and in fact that could win him the game right here, I think.
And part of this moment harkens back to the previous moment when DauT was in Viper's economy. The Viper sent his knights home to defend that eco. Those knights would have been able to
pulling
defend
them
this
away.
push.
That
exactly.
could push on the castle.
And these pro players stream their point of view, and when they do, you can see them basically saying to their chat, like, hey, I'm going to do a distraction attack here, and then I'm going to send my real army in on the other side. Like, they're constantly setting their opponent up to be in the wrong place at the right time.
Nice.
So in this case, both players did lose their castles. However, because DauT has a bigger economy, because he's hurt Viper's villagers a lot more,
he's got one
Viper
more
can't
trebuchet.
afford the same upgrades. He's still got knights, whilst DauT has Cavalier, which we know are a lot stronger. Viper
Interesting
can't
how
make
it's
as
turned.
many units.
We saw the castle go up. We thought that was going to be a safety mechanism, but then the other castle went up.
Yeah.
And then they had a distraction, and now it's almost like leveled the playing field again.
Well, not quite, because DauT has much stronger units, so he will be able to push this.
Because he has those upgrades.
Yeah, because he has the upgrades, and because he has the bigger economy as well. He can able to support that now.
Nice.
So
and that's
DauT's
it.
building a new
And then
castle in the middle. The Viper sees the writing on the wall, and he calls GG, and DauT will go on to win this game.
That's
And
a good.
we unlock a lot of achievements too.
Yes, I see the achievements popping. That's actually a good pause point. Just to reiterate, I know there's a lot of people hopping in chat. A lot more people have joined since we started. Just want to say welcome to Gamescom day. I don't even know. Day 3.
Officially day 3.
Officially day 3. Thank you, producer Josh in the back. He's letting us know. Officially day 3. We are here with Tyler and Zach, or you may know them as Killer B and ZeroEmpires. These guys are AoE casters. They are community members, very passionate about the game. As you see, they've been teaching us a lot here. We've been going through a couple of these professional maps, or professional matches back and forth with some of the best, arguably two of the best.
Two of the best
Kind
in
of
the
showing
world.
you guys a little bit here. Again, to clarify as well, this is Age of Empires HD. I don't remember what year this came out.
This came out in 2014.
2014. So yeah,
I think.
yeah, we're definitely showing this off in celebration of Age 4 being announced, as
Yep.
well as you might be able to plug what else was announced.
Age of Empires Definitive Edition, which is the remaster of the original Age of Empires game.
And we announced that at E3.
Yes.
Then that dropped.
We had a new trailer this week celebrating the 20th anniversary of the franchise. You guys were there. It was fantastic.
Which was great.
And they also announced Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition, Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition are coming.
Yep.
So
So that's why I saw some people were like, wait a minute, this game, the graphics don't look quite. It's Gamescom 2017. That's doing a throwback here. Just want to give some love to the franchise. The new editions haven't come out yet, obviously. Can't wait to stream those and play those. Visually, they're gonna look gorgeous.
Yeah.
I've seen one of them, and it's just it's nice, very nice. And then of course Age 4. Can already speculate what that's going to look like, and I think it's important to show also love for the RTS culture, the RTS community. I think it's also important to show that because it's very strong, very vocal, and very big.
So speaking of Age of Empires 4, if you could pick one civilization that would make it into the game, what would that be?
Well, it's hard to know because we don't know what time period Age of Empires 4 will be.
That's true.
I mean, personally for me, I would like it to be a similar time period to Age 2. I think from a standpoint of what was interesting in terms of military, I think once you get to the point of like Napoleonic era, you get a line of gunmen and just shooting at each other. That's why I didn't really enjoy Age 3 so much, because it's just lines of dudes shooting. And I think when you go back, there's a lot more variation in the units and things. So personally, I would like to see things from this time period at medieval.
From the past.
Yeah.
No guns. More about arrows, pole arms, swords.
Oh yeah.
There's been a lot of speculation based on the trailer. Like Reddit's been blowing up.
I was gonna
People
say
are really
Reddit's been doing what Reddit does best, and just zeroing every frame, zooming in on every corner.
I'm sure they'll say like, "Oh, Killer Bee's eye twitched when Zach was talking about guns,
Right.
and that means it's gonna have guns."
Yeah.
Like, people just are really interested right now to see how this is gonna be pulled off, and we're mostly in the dark, so it's going to be a big surprise to us too.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm
Really
very
looking forward
excited
to that.
personally. I don't know. As far as I go, I'm a little bit. I'd have to say I'm really on the same mindset after playing Age 3. Like, you had the musket lineup, and I felt like at that point it just became like a musket war back and forth. I'd have to say I'd love a lot more attention on kind of the older civilizations. I don't know, by the way. I don't work on this franchise at all.
I mean, personally, I think the military tactics from, further back were more interesting as well. Just setting up traps on hills and rolling boulders down and crushing people in valleys. I mean, it's pretty
It
gory,
was
I guess.
less about the big kaboom and more about strategy, flanking.
Yeah.
I would agree as well.
But I
And I think you guys have one more. Do you have one more match for us lined up?
we can do another match. Yeah, if you'd like to do that, we can do that. We can do.
And then we're gonna play, I think, too.
Yeah, I mean, we can get you guys going. I think we just do a Baltic.
Yeah, let's do
Baltic
game 4. Yeah.
was
So,
just.
We've shown you a couple land maps in a row, but we don't want to neglect the fact that Age of Empires has water.
Yes.
And a lot of strategy in a map like this is Baltic, is going to circle around the water because
this one's very different.
there's a lot of resources in the water. There's fish. And if you can establish yourself on that fishing economy, you can really catapult your economy forward.
All based off fish.
All based off
yeah.
fish. And you also, if you control the shoreline, you stop your opponent from building anything close to the water.
Interesting.
So it's a huge battle for the water in this map usually.
Yeah, and a big reason why fish are so valuable is because not all resources are created equal. Some resources have more food in them. So when we talk about food, we have the sheep, we have the deer,
I'm
we
seeing
have
some love for Baltic.
yeah, we have the berries, we have the boar, we have the fish. Well, villagers gather them at different rates. So if you gather from fish, it's a very quick method of food income. And this game is very much about efficiency as well as it is about strategy and overall grand strategy. By doing the more efficient things, if you've got the same number of villagers as your opponent, but your villagers are working twice as effectively, then obviously you get more resources. And the aim of the game is, be as efficient as you can, get the best trades possible, and try and snowball that as well.
Yeah, so early on in this map, we're seeing the Viper now in the red. I think he changed color because he was having some bad luck in this series. So he switched over to red.
I love that attention to detail. Like,
Yeah.
no, I need different lucky socks on.
Yeah, exactly.
Some players do have their colors.
Their quirks.
You'll always see them. Like Vinchester is a guy from Russia. He always plays in pink.
Interesting.
That's his color.
I think it's probably worth watching a boar lure here since I don't think we've featured this yet.
No.
But these boar are aggressive animals. You obviously get meat from them, but they'll kill your villagers if you just send them out there on their own. So what players have decided to do is lure the boar in. So this hunter is going to go out and make this boar angry. Even if he could kill it here, it wouldn't be efficient to chew it up there.
Right.
So he's going to drag it into this town center. So he's going to shoot it twice, get it angry, and then he's going to run back home. He'll take some damage on the way back in, but dropping that boar under this town center is a massive advantage.
And again, just being efficient.
Exactly.
And one villager alone would not be able to kill the boar. And it's these kind of mini games in Age 2 that make it interesting. The boar nearly runs back there. It lost aggro range. But he's going to bring it into the town center. And just as that sheep finishes, he's going to use all of his villagers to kill the boar under the TC.
No villager died.
No villagers died. It's very efficient. And at the same time, you've got DauT doing it as well. And players generally have very similar timings on these things. The Dark Age is really perfected at this stage.
It's one of the really fun parts about the early game in Age of Empires is you're playing against yourself, kind of. You know the build order that you want to do. You know how well you can execute it, but you're always trying to gain a second here or a second there, be a little more efficient, use your resources a little bit better, and you're always able to measure your progress against yourself. I clicked up to Feudal Age at this time, and tomorrow I'm going to click up 10 seconds earlier. And in a competitive match, that's a massive difference, a massive advantage.
Absolutely.
What I wanted to point out here is that DauT and Viper have found each other in the middle of the map.
Oh, they have.
Their scouts went at it, and it looks like DauT will emerge victorious here on 3 villagers. And now DauT's got a massive advantage because his scout can roam around. He can find sheep. He probably can't damage the Viper's villagers anymore because he's only got 3 HP, but he's going to have a lot of vision on the map.
Yeah, the most valuable thing about this is that the scout will be able to see where Viper is building his dock. And knowing where your enemy's dock is really valuable in the early game because you know where their fish are going to be. And the target is, I want to kill my opponent's fishing ships.
Right.
And
I
so
want to
when
cripple his fishing economy.
Yeah, and by knowing where the fish are, he will have an advantage there.
Really cool moment
Oh,
coming
yeah,
up
this
here.
is great.
Viper just happens to be walking home. He notices DauT Scout and kills it with a villager. So
On the way back.
I love it. She just like, nope, and then
Yeah.
just keeps walking.
I forgot that was in this one.
Yeah,
That's
so-
a really good moment.
So
yeah.
DauT goes from having this massive advantage and ability to find all the extra resources, find the Viper's dock, to unfortunately losing his scout, just because the Viper was actively looking all over his map and he saw an opportunity to kill it. So pretty nice reaction
Yeah.
from the Viper there. You can see if you look at the Fog of War of DauT, he knows a little more about the map than the Viper does. But both guys will continue to build up their economies here in the Dark Age
Oh
without
yeah,
a
yeah.
scout.
Viper's still stayed kind of in his area.
Yeah, he doesn't know because he
Yeah.
doesn't have a scout now. So this is all he's going to know for a
Unless
while.
he wants to send out a villager.
Yeah, which he would not do that because the village is very slow, and obviously you need every man you can get in the Dark Age.
There's more use for that villager to stay and help rather
Yeah.
than scout.
Well,
until he can get a proper scouting.
Absolutely. As we said before as well, there's definitely a meta game that's present here. Both players know that their opponent will be making a dock, they'll be making 3 or 4 fishing ships, and they'll be going up to the feudal age to make military on the water. Now, you may have recognized in the last games, you saw a lot of players making farms. Now, in this game,
I haven't seen any farms.
no farms, and you won't. Look at this. DauT, for example, has every single villager right now gathering wood.
Yeah, he does.
Every single villager is gathering wood.
Not yet. Ignoring the berries and everything.
Yeah, and the same for Viper as well. Every villager is taking wood. And that's because ships cost wood and gold.
Yeah.
So they're building themselves up. They're setting themselves up now for reaching the feudal age and having the correct eco balance to create the units that they want to make. So they're making these decisions quite early on and setting themselves up for it to be able to create as many boats as they can to win the water here.
So both players are going up to the feudal age. They'll have some viable military
I was going
units
to say,
on the
now what does
water.
that mean in advantage-wise dealing with a water-based map?
So they're going to start queuing fire galleys in the feudal age on a map like this with these civilizations. And if you have them out a little early, you can maybe go in and harass your opponent's economy. You could disrupt the fish, maybe even kill a couple fishing ships, and that advantage can catapult
So
you
the
forward.
first thing he's going to be doing is building those fire galleys.
Yeah, it's all about the fish
Yeah.
because
Oh,
fish
yeah, he's literally building those fire galleys.
and fish are just such a good source of food income that it's all about that. Now the big difference here is that, well, it's not. It doesn't seem like a big difference, but in reality it is. DauT's built 4 fishing ships while Viper has only got 3. And that means that Viper has more wood surplus, and he can add his next dock faster. And so
He's already starting to build a little bit of an advantage.
yeah, and the first fire galley is going to come out, and the fire galley was introduced with the new expansions because the old water meta for the original game was basically just 1 unit, galleys. Now with the HD edition, they added these new fire galleys, which has changed the water meta game quite a lot. And as you can see here, Viper is going the wrong way. He's actually not finding DauT right now because
Oh, he
didn't
hasn't
have the
found them,
vision.
and he's just tailing away.
Yeah.
He just barely missed them.
Yeah, so his big advantage in getting his army out early is going to be much smaller because now DauT is getting army out.
Yeah, he kind of knows the general area.
Exactly. And
Sending
DauT,
them straight there.
DauT will roam to the north. He's going to get a little luckier than the Viper and find these docks, and he may be here in time to kill a couple fishing ships. Both players will be continuing to build fire galleys for now, but we might see a sneaky demo ship. These are ships when your opponent is grouped up that you can send in and they explode, and they can often.
so it'll just go right into the middle and go kaboom if
Yeah.
if it can make it that far.
Yeah, and that blast radius can be really cost effective in the right situation.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
'cause I can see instances where they're all grouped up. And
So-
look at that. Yeah, I see. Even there in the beginning, he was ignoring the fire galley, trying to go straight for that fishing ship.
Absolutely. And a nice thing that DauT's doing here is he's bringing his ship back to the shoreline and actually repairing it with a villager.
Oh, you can bring it back and repair
so
on
you
it.
can repair your ships and, like, as
So
we
you
say,
get a cycle going of shooting.
oh, here's a
and
demolition raft. So the idea now is, you know, the
create
fire
a wall,
ships will...
push it in.
And if you can get a good demolition shot, this could be big. If he hits 3 or 4, that was a huge one.
There we go.
And now we've got one out from DauT as well. He's going to try and
he's
do the
scrambling.
same. And so when you see a demolition ship, the idea is you got to split your units apart.
Spread
because
them evenly.
You don't want that explosion to come in and just blow up all your boats.
And the balance here is really nicely done by the developers. A demo ship killing 1 ship is not effective. You need a group of 2 or 3, really 3 or more, in order to get a good cost benefit on that trade.
Viper's coming in, he's just killed a fishing ship, and he's going to try and get another one. And you can see that one demolition ship does not kill the fire galley. and that's why you have to hit more than one fire galley in order to make it worthwhile. So he's actually killed 2 fishing ships right now, which is really good, sacrificing his own boat to do it. But now DauT only has 1 fish. Viper still has 3, so there's a lot more food income from Viper coming in.
So while he's got 3 pumping in, the other guy's definitely got a downscale right now.
And as we saw before, the players, they sent all of their villagers out to take wood, and gold. There's not many villagers gathering food yet. Now, if you lose your fish, you have to put more villagers to gather food. DauT, on the other hand, is already making farms.
Oh, now we're going into farms.
And we've got the Age of Empires 4.
I was going to say the Age of Empires 4 trailer's playing. That's
That's
what's thundering behind us.
Yeah.
One of the really cool things to point out here is with a map that has both water and land, players have to strategically decide when to switch what they're doing. So DauT was doing really well on water. Both guys are putting a ton of resource into water. But the Viper saved a little bit of resource to build a barracks and an archery range. And he's building a couple of archers to come across the map. These aren't going to really decimate DauT's economy, but it could really disrupt it.
Because he really doesn't have anything protecting that. He's got a ton of villagers, but they're all just farming wood while he's put all his money into his ship and his C4s, basically.
Exactly. I mean, this game is so finely tuned that these players are all in on one thing sometimes. And a little sneak attack like this can really do a lot of damage. Yeah, I don't know if people at home can hear the woololo.
That's the Age 1 DE trailer.
Yeah, now they're playing the HD trailer. They knew we were streaming, I'm sure.
Okay.
And my ears perked up.
I'm sure the stream heard that.
And I don't think that comes across on stream, but I wish you guys could hear that. But
Yeah.
it is thundering whenever like a visual comes up. You can hear them.
It's so loud.
Heard the applause from the stage.
Only at Gamescom. I've never seen this at E3 or at PAX. They have these, but not this loud, not this booming.
This is like the loudest it's been yet.
Yeah, indeed. And you guys probably can't hear me, but I'll tell the people out there watching. What we're seeing is the Viper spending less resource on water. He's losing his ability to fight on the water. DauT is taking over a lot of map control. But the Viper's small army coming in from the east of the map is going to try to get in and raid these units. DauT has an archery range up. He can counter this, but he has to do so pretty quickly because the Viper will come in and start to idle his economy.
I got half of it. I got half. Sorry, the trailer land, and it looks gorgeous, by the way.
Fantastic.
Again, I know people are commenting. We are playing an older game because people keep coming in and they're like, wait a minute. We're not playing the new age. Not ready yet. Obviously, they're still making it great.
Yep.
But, I mean, it's actually kind of cool. Interesting because I can see it here and here.
You can see it. We can't.
I know. It's just my angle.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing the angle of it back and forth, and it's like night and day. So
And we did have it on the show yesterday. So
We
if
did.
anybody wants to see
We
it, you
did.
can go back and watch it.
and they can F5 the crap out of the trailer and just keep watching it.
Yep,
Did
yep.
you see the trailer views was like on the H4 trailer was like in the mills.
So amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can hear each other now. There we go.
We had a meeting yesterday with some of the Relic guys who are developing Age 4.
We should actually talk about that, how you guys feel about that. Personally, I'm really excited. Relic taking up the arms, for Age of Empires. Company Heroes was one of my favorite games. I absolutely loved that game.
Nice.
I think easily 20, 25, 30 hours in that game. Maybe not a bunch, but enough for me to fall in love with it. And I'm kind of excited it's them.
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone's going to be a bit skeptical because as we said before, Age of Empires means so much to so many people that they want the game to be as good as it can possibly be. And we met with the Relic guys last night, and we could see that they were passionate about it. We met with the community manager and the brand manager, and they were super excited. They were really like, okay, well, we know that we need to make a good game here. We know we need to work with the community. We know that we've got some great ideas, and we want to really make this the best we can possibly make it. So it gave us a lot of confidence meeting those guys yesterday, and
it was really great to meet some guys who you can understand. These guys get it.
It's
they
good
know
to,
what
it's
this
good
franchise
that
is.
From your point of view, you get that, because I know you take that back to your circles and your community, and I can tell you from the conversations I've heard around the office that nobody's messing around with this. Nobody's taking this half-heartedly. Everyone knows how much love is for this franchise.
And
this franchise, I mean, ages a lot of us. It goes back, and I spent many hours playing this game as a kid. I know when, the relaunch comes out, I'm going to be jumping right in that and probably just right back into it. It's always my pick up and play game when, I'm traveling or I'm just at home and just like, it's a Saturday morning. I just want to relax and enjoy some Age of Empires. But I think they know that, and I think it's very important, and I would not be surprised. In fact, I know for sure that they're definitely taking their time because they would two things. One, they get to introduce Age of Empires to a whole new generation of community that's never even touched it or played it.
Yeah.
Hell, there might even be people who don't even know what Age of Empires is. You know, it's been so long in retrospective since an iteration has come out, and then at the same time, there's fans like us on any side of the spectrum, from professional to competitive to just fanboy. And I think it's cool to see that they're going to bring all that into one circle and ship the best game that we can have.
What's been cool for us this week is that we feel a little bit like ambassadors for our community. I mean, people are very excited. Microsoft cares about what our community, Age 2, thinks, and Relic cares about what
they don't
want
to ship a bad game. Microsoft Studios does not want to ship a bad game. Like, let's be honest. They want to ship the best Age of Empires they've ever shipped to date.
Absolutely, and I mean, it's just really cool to have this exposure for the game. There's a lot of other personalities other than Zach and myself that people might enjoy more, but the fact that we're here and sort of bolstering our game and trying to promote it is a really great opportunity, and just want to thank you guys for having us.
No,
I'm getting choked up over here. Give me a minute.
No, I think this is great to reminisce. I love when franchises like this that have a really big foothold, and frankly, a lot of games that we're playing now and that new sexy hotness, were built on the foundation, like, quote unquote, the rocks they're walking on might have been built by Age of Empires, and so it's kind of nice to see that.
Well, the Relic guys were saying to us that of all of the RTS games, in that genre, Age of Empires is up there at the top as one of the most known and recognized titles.
Yep.
And people have, every time you go to like the Age of Empires Facebook page, they make a post about anything, you'll always see many comments being like, so when's Age of Empires 4 coming?
I saw that for so long. I worked on Age of Empires Online a few years back, and anytime we were talking about Age of Empires, when's Age of Empires 4? When's Age of Empires 4?
Yeah.
And now we can say it. It's coming.
I can tell you, the first time I heard about it a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Because I used to be on the Studios team, Microsoft Studios team, actually. So I work with Joe, the community manager for Age of Empires 4. And I got to tell you, the first time they told me, I was like, no. Because I remember hearing him, we talk in meetings, and he'd post up a post or maybe do a contest on social media, and immediately, Age 4, Age 4, Age 4, Age 4, Age 4, Age 4. So I bet you for him, it's like I've seen him running around bouncing.
Yeah.
Because he's just like screaming it from the mountaintop. So it's kind of nice to see the community round about that together and be like, you know what? We're excited. It's what we always wanted, and it looks like they're going to do this right.
So if I could take a second to summarize this game, we were really busy.
It's over.
Yeah, I know we got off on a tangent.
We were busy chatting, but what happened is the Viper was able to do enough damage to DauT's economy with his land army that he actually was able to win back the water, because DauT couldn't continue to produce ships. You need your economy at home. You need the gold to make ships. So the Viper's little push with his land army early turned into an advantage that he eventually could utilize to steamroll DauT. He wins back the water. He's now fishing very healthily. That's going to help his economy a lot, and he'll get the win. And really, these two players were on point all match, but a couple of strategic decisions got the Viper the win in this game. And I think this is the last game we'll probably watch.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'll spoil it for people, and I'll say that the Viper goes on to win this tournament.
I was just going to say, who wins?
The Viper goes on to win, and he won his ticket here. He'll be here today, ready to play his game on Saturday over at 5.2.
Yeah.
Starting early in the morning, 8 GMT. We're going to be basically going all day for our tournament. It's going to be the Viper, for people out there who love the game, Leary, MBL, and Tato. Four of the very best players in the world are going to be here.
You said they're from all across Europe here?
Yeah, all around Europe. It's going to be two Norwegians.
Two Norwegians.
Yeah,
Really?
Norway's probably the capital city for
right now.
1v1 players.
For now.
Really? Interesting.
So two Norwegians, and then we have Tato from Spain and Leary, who is from Austria. And the interesting thing about Leary is that he's only 17, so he's younger than the game. And he's here playing as one of the best players in Europe right now, so it's really cool for him.
Really interesting international community. I mean, Brazil throws heat; they come in hot. Argentina, like you can name a dozen players from both of those countries. They're just that are playing at a pro level. So it has pockets where the game is really influential, And
I think it's interesting to see even the different regions focus on different versions of the game.
Yeah.
Like 1v1 or maybe a 2v2 or something.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
interesting, in Argentina, there's actually a player who is a very high level. He's actually a chess grandmaster as well.
Is he really?
Yeah.
You know what? That really doesn't surprise me then, because this game is chess.
There are a lot of players who play chess in Age of Empires community at a very high level.
Yeah.
I like the correlation, and I like the back and forth between it. So I think it's super cool.
Yeah.
And these matches were pretty awesome to watch. Just the idea of like where the strategy's at. And I love this one where this guy, you know, and I'm still learning the names, but basically he started to ignore his land army, and then through that, the other way we were able to come in and kind of take over, while the other guy was focusing maybe more on the sea.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all cost benefit. If you can send a couple of cheap units to do a little bit of disruption, you can swing the game in your favor.
Yep. And I saw somebody here. Do you even remember the rocket car that could spawn? People were talking about the rocket car that could spawn in it. So.
The Cobra.
Yeah, if you wanted to have some fun. Yeah.
How do you turn this on?
There were a couple of times where I would spawn the Cobra and be like, you know what? Here's 5 Cobras. Pew, 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 pew. Just have some fun. But I think we should actually play a little bit.
Yeah. It's going to be difficult.
It might be a little difficult with the sound.
So who's going to play? You guys going to play?
Yeah.
We can kind of walk you through, I guess.
Want me to
Do I play? Why don't you play?
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on the chat.
Yeah, I'll scoot this down a little bit. I think you just got to click like maybe every couple of minutes. Nope.
I just need the mouse a second here. PUBG Events 0111. That's a great nickname.
All right.
What civilization would you like? You have 31 to choose from now. And it really, I mean, it doesn't matter which civ you take, to be honest, because
there's a lot of
you know,
civilizations
when
in
you're
here.
learning the
This
game,
does
or when you
include all three of this includes all 3 expansions. So
yeah, when you're new to
I
the
kind of
game,
want. What does
it's not
chat
so
think?
important.
Actually, I'm kind of
Yeah,
curious. There's a lot of
let's-
people in
Yeah,
chat.
refer to the chat.
I'm kind of curious where chat. I was
Maybe-
leaning towards Mongols or Persians.
Maybe
Like
the
Koreans,
chat would want to see a
Byzantines.
new civ if they're. I'm not sure if they want to see one of the expansion civs, but
There's the expansion civs as well.
yeah, the most recent was the Rise of the Rajas.
Indeed.
Right?
Yep.
Should we try one of those civs?
Yeah, so the
Got
Rise
a
of the
couple of
Rajas
votes for
civs,
Byzantine, some for Koreans.
you've got
Mongols,
Vietnamese,
Dutch,
Malay,
Indians,
Khmer,
Chinese.
and Burmese for Rise of the
Let's
Rajas.
do Burmese. Let's show a new a
Yeah.
new one off. Yeah, I saw some Burmese.
Burmese?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And so we'll take a look at the tech tree for the Burmese. They're a monk and elephant civilization.
Oh, I like this already.
Yeah, you can make some battle elephants from the stable, which is unique to the Rise of the Rajas civilization.
Battle elephants. Who doesn't want battle elephants?
They're really cool. And before this, you could only make the Persian war elephant, which is why the Persians get a lot of love. And then they have their unique unit, which is an Arambai, which is like a mounted dart thrower.
a dart thrower.
Yeah, very inaccurate, but they do a lot of damage if they hit. So
They need to practice.
we
a
might
little
not
bit.
get to that point, but let's put this just on standard.
Yeah, go easy
the,
on
the
me.
AI won't be too much of a challenge, I think, on this level. And, well, go ahead.
I'm a little worried about the AI. We'll see
you
how
get
this goes.
comfortable, and we'll kind of walk you through.
And you guys are gonna walk me through this so I don't embarrass myself.
We'll try.
Right? Let me pop these out. All right.
Get that all prepped up there,
Yep.
ready to go.
Get prepped.
yeah, we need a drum roll,
All right.
some energy drinks. We
Yeah.
need to get you pumped.
A little bit of non-branded energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed.
Keep you guessing.
Just while you set up, let me say to people who didn't get a chance to make it out to this event, it's been a really great event so far.
Yeah, it has.
Xbox has this beautiful display in front of us with several different cool new games popping out. The Age display, Age of Empires 1 Definitive Edition, has been really fun. 10 computers set up in a circle so that people can try the game out and see how they like the graphics.
And it's been full. Every time I walk by everybody's
Yeah.
waiting to play. So
Yeah,
a lot of excitement for it.
And you can hear, I hope they can hear a little bit at home of how crazy and awesome the atmosphere
Yeah, I'm not
is.
sure how much are they picking up. Are they picking up a little bit, Josh?
Yeah.
Just a bit.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
like a
good.
low roar. Yeah, that's a professional term. Low roar.
It's super loud here.
Nice. Nice.
Okay, cool,
Yelling at
cool.
our producer off stream. Okay.
Okay, so before we click start, at the start of the game, you've got to build some houses. Okay, so your goal is, you've got 2 objectives here. Build a couple of houses so that you can support more population, and make villagers from the town center. We'll take you through it.
Okay, and we'll pause if we need to slow
Yeah,
down.
we can pause if we need to. So you'll start with 3 villagers, a scout cavalry, and your town center.
Give it a second here.
All right.
All right. So select some vills. 2 vills in the north. You can select together. Yep. And then you want them to build a house.
A house.
Oh, build a house. All right.
So down here, yeah, that one,
build
and top
and
left, house.
Perfect.
And then any specific placement or just
A little bit further away from the town center.
Like right
yeah,
here?
over there is
That's
good. That's
perfect,
great.
yeah.
and
you
one
have
house,
another
or do you want to
villager-
build another house?
Yeah, there's a villager down to the south here, in the shade of that tree. Another house with him.
All right.
And then there's good. And then
We
at the
scoot that
TC,
over.
at the town center, you want to queue some villagers.
How many?
4. As many
Okay.
as you can.
All right.
Now with your scout cavalry, you want to move him to the sheep to collect the sheep because you need to gather some more food in order to make more villagers. And then double click on the sheep, you can drag them all back to the TC. Right click under the TC.
Okay.
Perfect. So you want to set your 3 villagers to take the sheep now.
Do I need to wait till they get there?
Just any of the sheep. This is good. Underneath the town center is best. And only take 1 sheep at a time. So that's all good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Now the villager standing idle at the bottom of the town center, you want to set him to the sheep as well. You've got 2 villagers there now
These
as
two?
they start building.
Send them to the sheep too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And with the town center, if you select it, you can set a gather point. So you can right click now to send villagers to gather sheep or to gather wood or whatever you
Like that?
desire. Yeah, just like
Okay.
that. So with your scout, you need to move around a bit more because you need to find more sheep.
I
You
can't
need
really
to
see the
find
map part. Yeah.
So if you hold shift, you can send your
Yeah.
scout to multiple points. So like, for instance, before you click next, if you hold down shift, yeah, you can set up flags.
Like
and that's
that?
your scout will run that direction. He'll run that path. And that will help you
So
scout
I want to be like
without-
doing this basically.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You want to go
exactly.
around in concentric circles. You don't want to go too far away
Oh,
because
okay.
your resources are close by. So
All right, I'll pull
you
them
want
back.
to scout close by.
Okay.
Right now we're looking for your sheep. We're looking for your extra resources like boars and deer. We're trying to find a good wood line and figure out how you're going to approach this match.
So
Okay.
we just found a boar.
Yep, there's a boar.
So right now you're about to run out of sheep. You need to keep making villages at the town center as well. Now that's gone idle.
Five
yeah.
more?
And
It's
you
all
want to
about
gather a little bit of
multitasking
wood
here.
here.
Oh. So now I need more food too, I'm noticing. So I should start mining wood?
Yeah, so if you right click on the tree next to the town center, the villagers will come out and gather the wood.
Okay.
In the meantime, since your sheep are about to run out, you'll probably want to end up building a mill on your berries here very soon as well. But for now, if you focus on your scout for the moment and try and find those extra sheep, you'll have a total of 8 sheep. So far you've found 4, so there's another 4 sheep out there somewhere.
Oh, there's always 8. Oh, okay. Something
should we-
I would not know.
Should we try to lure a boar here? Or
We can try luring a boar.
the
Do
chat's
you
expecting
feel like
disaster
luring a
here.
boar
I-
right now?
I was going to
Just
say,
to warn
chat,
you,
chat
if-
expectation,
if you-
set
if-
expectations
If
properly.
you try and lure a boar, they're expecting disaster. So let's prove them wrong, shall we?
that's
All right,
part of the
How
fun.
do I lure a boar?
Okay, not with the scout. So select one of the villagers under the town center that's idle underneath. Yeah,
Okay.
now right click on the boar, and we'll do this really slowly. So she's going to come and attack the boar. Now, be ready with your mouse to click underneath the town center.
Right here?
Yeah, after she's hit the boar twice.
Okay.
So, 1, 2, now run.
2,
Right click.
Run,
There you
run.
go.
Now, select your other villagers underneath the town center. And now, as the boar comes in, just wait. Now, right click.
Shoot, and
Now
then
you're going to shoot. Now she may die, but the hope is you'll kill the ball before she dies. There you
Ah.
go. Successful ball. That is perfect. That is
Take that,
actually
chat.
perfect.
I love you,
Wonderful
chat.
job.
I'm just kidding. I just got sassy. In the meantime, you can try to find this other.
So now, with your 3 villagers that are chopping that piece of wood,
Yep.
come and build a lumber camp at this wood line on the left side. So select those 3 villagers. And then at the bottom left, this one, and then lumber camp is the 4th one along. And then you can build that next to the wood line here. That's it. And that's going to keep your villagers efficient now, and they're going to gather wood from this bigger tree line.
When I set the points, I go shift. How do I execute that then?
Right click to end it.
To
And then
start
it'll
it or
follow
end
that
it?
route.
Okay.
But you're kind of scouting the edge of the map here, so
Okay. I
We're
didn't, I
right
didn't-
at the
I didn't
edge,
see I was
yeah.
on the edge there. So I want to send him more towards. So click, kind of like a circle. Click, go.
yeah, that's
Good,
fine. Yeah.
good.
Okay.
So you've got to keep making villagers, though. At this
Yes.
point, the town center's been idle for quite a lot, and
Sorry.
well, it's okay. It's a really difficult thing to actually.
You might have to remind me.
It's a really difficult thing to maintain and it's probably one of the things that most new players struggle with the most, keeping the villagers coming.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and build a mill now on the berries. So if we grab that villager that's underneath the town center, or this one, yeah, and go for the mill, which is the one.
This one right here?
Yeah, right there.
And where should we build this?
We want to build that on the berries to the north. So
right here?
I mean, this is a kind of an awkward berry patch. I'd go down a little bit, and then up a little bit. And then you want to put it like in the corner against
like
that.
right
just
there?
That's perfect, yeah.
Cool. And maybe it's time to lure in your second boar if you're ready.
Yes.
If you're ready for a challenge.
Let's go.
So let's bring the second one in.
So
I'm
again,
so terrified of what the AI is doing right now. I'm waiting for like an army of 50 guys to come out.
I think you're good. The AI isn't too scary right now. We can tell by his score.
2,
And then you go.
run,
Perfect, yeah. And get ready with these guys to shoot the boar as it comes in.
I would have to say your first boar lure was pretty darn good. You dropped it right under the TC nicely.
Attack.
Here we go, attack. Yep. Second lure looks.
Oh, the boar's
pretty
glitching
solid.
out as well, so you got lucky there.
I
Looks
got a little
pretty solid.
advantage. Not quite underneath the town center, but
That's good enough.
So at the moment, your house. So we need to build another house. You need enough houses to support your population.
all right, you're just
So-
standing there.
Yeah, grab a villager who doesn't look too bothered by building a house, and just drop another house. Yep.
In
There
the
you go.
meantime,
So each house
where's that
can
scouty
support-
scout?
Yeah,
All right.
keep your scout moving. But yeah, each house can support 5 population. So you need to build a lot of houses over the course of the game to not get pop blocked, as we call it.
'Kay.
And then you can keep making units.
Okay. Oh, wait,
What's-
this is idle. This is idle. Shouldn't be idle. Oh, but I need to build more houses.
Yeah.
I can queue them, though, right?
Yeah, you can still queue them.
Should I just build another house while I'm
Yeah,
at it?
absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay.
What's going to be great is when you become the premier pro in this game.
It all started right here.
It all
People come
started.
back, yeah, people
Gamescom
come back.
2017, Thursday, August 24th. I love it.
So
All
right now, you know, your boar are going to run out pretty soon. But you've got quite a lot of wood saved up, so you can start building some farms now.
Okay.
As the
Start
sheep-
becoming a little more self-efficient.
Yeah, the sheep aren't showing up, so...
I'm failing the sheep. So should I build these close?
yeah, absolutely. Right there is good. That's the most efficient farm placement you can make.
Should I build
on the north side
get
of the
another
TC.
one, or?
Yeah, you can go with some more. And you can send some more villagers to the berries as well. So you can send 4 villagers out there, and they'll gather the berries. This is going very well.
Okay.
You're doing great for
Should
a
I do
guy
another
that's
farm?
playing on the big
I'm
screen
trying to.
here.
I'm nervous here. I'm just trying to get it going here.
Oh, it's going
All right.
perfectly.
No, this is absolutely fine. Considering, I mean, when was the last time you played Age 2?
Probably been at least a couple years.
So this is great. And right now, we can just do a couple more villagers. With these villagers that are idle, so a big part of this game is hotkeys. And one of those key hotkeys is the full stop button. And that'll take you to idle villagers that aren't doing anything.
They're just
And
sitting
so
there.
you want to set them to work by getting another farm.
There's a lot of wood here. Let's.
Yeah, so you'll need to build a few more farms. Only one villager can work a farm at a time, so
Oh.
you'll need some new farms to
We definitely need more farms.
keep them busy. But
All
yeah, it's
right.
always important to keep your villagers working. Pretty soon, we'll think about clicking up to the feudal age. We're starting to get a pretty good economy going. Food is starting to roll in. We're going to need 500 food. But if we keep farming, it should be fine.
So you can start building the farms around the south side of the town center as well. And this is a super easy hotkey, right? So the hotkeys in this game are in the grid formation. So A will bring up the
Oh,
build
we have
menu.
scout.
And A again,
Oh,
you've got
scout.
a farm. Oh, you can, well,
That's
you
a
could
scout,
garrison,
right?
but yeah, that's only a scout. He won't hurt you.
You've been
So if you want to
spotted.
quickly build a farm, you can select a villager and press A twice. You've got a farm. So I'd say just 2 more villagers and you should be good.
2 more,
Yeah, 2, no,
Oh.
you've got 4 now, so if you go to 2 more, you should be good.
like that.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. And go for a couple more farms as well, because we need that food to get to 500 food here.
I think we're going to shatter the pro meta. I think pros are going to learn from what we're doing here
Absolutely.
today, and they're going to change the way they play this game.
Okay, I think it's time
we're
to get
breaking
some
new
gold
ground
as
right
well.
here.
Okay.
So with 2 villagers that are chopping wood here, the 2 villas to the right,
one
grab
and
those
that one.
2.
And there
Let's
we go.
build a mining camp down to the, you see that gold mine right there? It's a big one.
Right
Just
there.
1 tile away.
What?
1 more to the left. Right there. That's perfect.
So if we were analyzing your map from above right now, we would say your weakness is probably these 2 forward gold piles. Those are going to be hard to defend if your opponent is attacking you on that side. So maybe we'll think about building our military buildings on that side of the map to defend that gold.
I'm thinking with Fast Castle here.
Oh, you want to? Okay.
I mean, he's got a lot of farms up, and it was
Sure.
side time. So if we go to the town center now, you can click up to the next stage, right there.
Hopefully chat's being nice. Pros are gonna.
Yeah,
oh, that's what I was saying. Pros are gonna be jealous of this 15-minute feudal. Nice. Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, my berries are getting low, but I still got a couple more.
No, I think your berries are fine for a while, but I think we've got some idle villagers that we need to take care of.
Do I?
So we want to send them to wood right now.
Okay.
So in order to advance to the next stage, you need 2 buildings from your current age.
Okay.
So to go to the feudal age, we needed 2 dark age buildings, which we have. And in order to go to the castle age, we need 2 feudal age buildings. And obviously to build those buildings, we need the wood to do that. Right now, a house is, this is a great opportunity to build a house. And I would also build a barracks right now as well, with maybe, any villager. But maybe let's come down a little bit to build the barracks.
Barracks?
That's the one. Down. Let's go down a little bit here, just on this left side.
Right.
Yeah, on this hill somewhere is great. That's perfect. And so when we reach the feudal age, we're going to make 2 more buildings.
Okay.
I think we'll make a stable, because we can make some knights. And I think we'll make a blacksmith, because then we can upgrade those knights as well. I think this is going to be just about right for the fast castle as well. I think we've got the good resources.
Yeah.
Where's
Good
my
timing.
Where's
As
my
long as the
bro?
red player doesn't attack us anytime soon, we're good.
So this strategy, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get really high quality units out early in the game. It leaves us really exposed to our opponent, who might send in some weaker units, but we have nothing to stop them. So we're kind of running a little bit of a risky strat, but if we can pull it off, we should be able to.
Okay, so we're in the feudal age. If you select the town center and then make 2 more villagers, and then right-click on the gold to set the gather point to the gold here. So right-click on the gold. Perfect. And with this villager at the barracks, we can now build a stable. In order to build a stable, you do need to have a barracks first. So it's on the next page for the stable. That's the one, right there.
And where do I want it?
We can build it next to the barracks here. It's fine. Yeah, that's great.
Okay.
Now, with another villager, we want to build the blacksmith as well. So we have no idols, which is a great thing.
I can take one off the
We're
lumber.
going to take one off the lumber, yeah.
And you said I'm building a what?
A blacksmith. So with the blacksmith, you can upgrade your units as well. It's on the second row in the middle. That's the one.
And where do I want to put this?
Anywhere at all, but there is fine, yeah.
Okay.
Now, to go to the castle age, you need 800 food and 200 gold. You're already there. So we've set this up for the fast castle so that you can get to the castle age quickly, and you can start making those knights, which we spoke about. I think you could maybe even win the game with a few knights here.
Okay.
So while we wait, let's do loom.
Yeah, let's get loom here.
It's the research
So
at the town center underneath the villagers.
the hatch
one?
pattern.
That's
Yep,
the
there you
one.
go.
And what is the loom giving me?
It's going to give your villagers more health, and it's going to give them more armor.
'Kay.
So if you get attacked, your villagers will be able to resist a little bit more damage.
Farm exhausted. Uh-oh. Does that just mean I need a new one?
Just right-click it, and it'll reseed it. Just like that.
Nice.
So bad news, our opponent is also in the castle age, so he's a
Oh.
little bit faster than us.
Oh, man.
Shit.
Shout out to
That's all right. No, it's fine.
shout out to Promi for making such a good AI, I would
Absolutely.
say. But we need to be cognizant of that because we're probably going to see an army somewhat soon. We should be able to click up now to castle if we go to the town center. I think we have our buildings, we have our resources, so you can click up to the castle age.
Man, he's turning and burning. He's making me nervous.
And maybe it's time to drop another stable, put a couple more vills on gold, and get ready for double stable knight production. I think that's probably a decent strategy here.
Absolutely. So we want to send one more villager out to the gold here. And while we're going to the castle age, let's upgrade our knights. Let's get some upgrades in so that when we start making the knights, we're ready to go. So if we click on the blacksmith.
Oh.
That one there, yeah. So the knights, they want the you see the horseshoe?
Yep.
That's the armor for the knights. So let's upgrade that. And that's going to mean that they have more armor and they can go underneath the town center without dying so quickly.
Okay. Oh, I found him.
We did find them. And
Right.
it looks like we see an archery range, so this could be a good build for us.
This could be what?
Well, we can see they've made an archery range.
Is that
And
bad?
No, knights are going to be good versus archers. So it's good for us that we've got the knights here.
So
or that we will have.
You probably want to go to your stable now, or keep scouting. Oh, you got a couple more sheep, which you can bring home if you want to.
Oh, I think I already got him. No? No.
Ah, looks like he's stealing some of your sheep there. But yeah, if you double-click those sheep, you can send them back to your town center. We can.
Oh, we're being attacked though.
Uh-oh.
Let's look at home. There's some crossbows here. So we want to select these villagers. Press G. Right-click on the TC. They're going to hop into the town center now.
Town center's going to take care
The
of
town
these.
center's going to fire at them. This is standard difficulty as well, so the AI is really challenging in
being
this
aggressive.
game. It was completely redone for the HD edition.
Okay.
And it really gives a real good challenge. So now we're in the castle age. Let's make those knights so we can deal with these crossbowmen. If we queue the knights, it's the second one over.
How many?
Just 2 from each stable. And then right-click over here to send them over that way.
So right now the red player is getting a ton of cost benefit because he's got one archer that's idling a lot of our eco.
Yeah.
So as soon as we can deal with that archer, we're fine. A more advanced player might send a couple villagers out who are just outside of the range of that crossbow. But let's just clean them up and get them off the map.
Okay.
And then we can resume our economy.
They're coming.
So the knights are coming.
No,
There's more crossbows, but we should have what it takes to bring these crossbow down. As we said before, the knights are great at this. So get your knights to kill the crossbows here. Looks like they've got bodkin arrow already, which is the attack upgrade. If you click on that crossbow there, if you left-click on the crossbowman, and you can see their upgrades as well. And you can see that these crossbowmen are pretty upgraded,
Jesus.
in fact. So I'm a little bit concerned for our chances now.
Oh, boy.
If you pull your knights back under your town center here, we have to retreat, I think.
How do I do that?
No, you're doing fine. Yep, just keep them under the TC and see if we can draw those crossbows into the arrow fire. Let the TC help us out.
Yeah,
a little bit of a challenge here today, playing against the standard AI. It's a pretty solid AI, but those crossbows will get cleaned up pretty quickly, and maybe we can push back out and restart our economy here.
One of the nice things about the new AI is that it doesn't cheat either. A lot of people are very against AIs that cheat, but this AI, it doesn't give itself any extra. Okay.
All right.
We selected the wrong button, but if we go to all these villages, select them, right-click on a farm, any farm, and they'll sort of go back to work now as well. They'll redistribute themselves. It's okay. The button you wanted was the one to the left of that. It's a little bit confusing, I know.
What should I do with my berry people?
We can get them to make farms now. We can also make a lot more knights as well. We can afford more knights here. But one thing at a time.
So again, if you hold down shift, you can build multiple farms at once. So like if you select the farm build.
Oh.
Yep, and then.
So there.
Yeah, and then shift.
You can click. There you go.
Like that. Yeah.
All right.
That's
works.
it.
And then knights. I need knights.
Absolutely.
Good.
More, less.
Yeah, that looks
Just
good.
keep going.
Looks good.
You can never have too many knights. Well, we did want to build an elephant. Let's build an elephant. If you go back here and cancel these knights here. Yeah, build an elephant instead. The elephant's top right. That's the one. You can afford 2 of those, I think. Yeah. These guys are really strong. They are weak against monks, but they're very good against crossbows, albeit a little bit slower than knights.
So we should probably continue to build villagers as well. I think your TC might be idle at the moment. Yep, keep building those villagers. Keep pumping them out. Get ready for more houses. Right now we have 30 population. We're going to need more houses to keep the production going. But what we can start to do now that we have an army is we can go see what our opponent's up to back in his economy. We can start to go forward and see if we can do some damage.
All right, just select the army here.
Yep, absolutely.
Should I take the elephant?
Yeah,
sure, why not?
So grab these guys and let's see if we can do some damage now.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming. All right. I'm hoping that he just had a tiny little force, but I'm a little worried if I roll in, and he's just got a massive army. Is there strategically any direction I should?
I think that gold might be
gold
a nice
is a good
spot,
place to hit, yeah. So you've kind of got your economy in a place where you can just keep making knights now. And if you just keep making knights, you might be able to actually to end your opponent here if we get a good fight on this gold. So he's got 1 crossbowman, that's no big deal. 2 crossbows, 3 crossbows. Maybe we could do with a few more upgrades here. There's a lot of crossbows.
Should I run?
I think we got to retreat.
We got to gun out of there.
I think we got to get out.
We need some more upgrades. So let's go to the blacksmith again. And let's do the second defense upgrade. So the one on the right with the horseshoe. No, the horseshoe for the, yeah, that's the one. And at the stable, let's do bloodlines, which gives us more health. It's the one in the bottom left of the stable. This one underneath, that's bloodlines. That'll give us an extra 20 health on our knights as well.
Should I be making more knights?
Absolutely,
we should keep making knights,
Keep queuing up units. Keep building villagers. Hopefully our economy gets into a good place where we can kind of steamroll our opponent. Although the scores look like he's got a lot of crossbows out. So he's going to be playing a little defense, I think, here.
Okay. Is he going? He's going very crossbow heavy.
Seems so.
Yeah, this looks good in terms of how much resources you have coming in. You can keep making knights quite easily. And we've just got to get up to a good number of units here so we can actually deal with those crossbowmen. Now we have the upgrades, it's going to be easier for us as well. So we should probably push back out with this army and try once again. Now we've come back, we've rallied, we've got the upgrades. We might be able to actually take the fight now.
Maybe worth noting, too, is that he seemed to be camping a lot of crossbows by that gold. So maybe if we try a different angle of attack, we can catch those slow units off guard. They'll take a long time to react to this problem.
Will they? Okay.
So if we maybe go up to the north of that base, we might be able to get in, do some damage, and get back out.
We have a suggestion from the chat here that says you should just go full elephants.
Just go full elephants?
Elephants will be a good counter. They can soak up a lot of damage from arrow fire, so it's not a bad choice at all.
So yeah.
And it's a fun unit to look at, so.
It's at the end of the day.
So we'll see if we can do this. It's going to be tough.
I'm nervous. I'm hurt a little bit. 2 of them are weak. We'll see how it goes. I feel like he's got a lot of crossbowmen.
While this army runs over, let's go back to the town center and make some more villagers real quick. If you go back to your town center, we'll queue up a bunch more villagers. Just queue up like, a bunch of them. Yep, and then we can go back to our army. You're getting a little bit of the advanced experience where you're kind of controlling multiple things at the same time. It's a little bit risky, but...
What should I be attacking?
Anywhere we
come
can
around
find,
to this right side a little bit. Let's see if we can find his wood line. It's probably going to be on the right. So if we head over here, okay, the crossbows are there. Just ignore them for now. And head over this way. Uh-oh, he's got a monk, though. This is a perfect counter to your war elephant, but thankfully he didn't target that. We can try and kill the monk. Now, your knights will run faster than your elephant, so if you send the knights, they will actually chase them down a lot faster.
There you go.
But let's try and kill these crossbows now. It might be possible to do that. At the same time as this battle's going on, if you head back to your own base,
oh God,
you've got more knights. Let's send this other army down to the south, and that way you might be able to catch him off guard. Now he's distracted from this this gold mine.
You're getting the hang of it. You got to be constantly queuing up new units, constantly building villagers, trying to take good engagements. There's a lot going on at the same
time.
time.
That economy engine's still going.
That's what's fun about the game. It's complicated, but you can measure your progress over time and really start to enjoy the fact that, hey, I've improved a lot this month. You know, it's a really fun game in that sense.
Okay, so let's see how we're doing over here. Our
Definitely
battle
not
elephant's still going, but unfortunately he just can't catch that crossbowman, and I think we're going to end up losing that battle elephant there as well. He does take one down. Eventually, yeah.
Someday he will
270 health. He's going to be quite tanky. We've got
Ar-
another army on the way over with a villager.
And one random villager.
We do need some houses once again, so grab a vill and spam a couple houses out.
I'd say you need more farms at this stage too. There's quite a lot of villagers on that gold mine.
One more.
Looking good, looking good.
The farms are the hard part for me to get used to.
Yeah.
And then it shifts.
Yep.
I also didn't organize them, so my OCD is like.
we did have a couple of comments in the chat about that.
They were
too.
like, "Oh God, his farms are so all over." Now, will villagers auto-assign to those or no?
They will, yeah.
Okay.
What you can do is select 5 or 6 vills from that gold pile. Like, just sweep across and select them. And then have them build a mill.
A mill?
A mill will serve as the town center. It's a place they can drop off the food. You want to build it
in the
up
farmlands,
near those
yeah.
farms. Yeah.
Up there. Just between the farms at the top? Okay, well, that's fine as
that's
well.
fine.
Sorry.
That works. Yeah.
It works.
A little
We're
bit of
gonna
a
put
walk.
more farms around it.
Oh, look down to the south. You got a lot of blinking. How's that going?
That's my elephant.
Oh, yeah. Elephant's still roaming in, still doing damage to the eco.
So the mill is a drop-off point as well. So instead of your villagers having to walk back to the town center, they can just walk to the mill. So
Should I be going more at him? Like, should I send all this?
well, at the moment, it's kind of hard. We're not able to actually do enough damage every time we get down there.
I felt like there was not. I felt like the archers were lessening.
Because all of the knights ended up dying to the town center there. You can see where they've kind of died underneath.
Oh, I see now.
But it might be good to, I don't know where that forward villager went. Maybe he's dead as well. But like a siege workshop could be good to add some additional pressure.
Should we try a little bit of an audible and you take over for about 2 minutes and see if you can
Okay, we can try.
right the ship? I think
right.
right
Yeah.
now we're in a
I'll try
little
and
bit
take over
of
for
trouble.
one
Yeah, we are. Thank
but
you.
it's still something I think can
Okay.
be rescued. Going to put a lot of pressure on Zach here.
This is going to be
Prove
hard
to
now.
us what he's capable of.
Mop up my mess. I was doing pretty strong in the beginning.
I think you're doing really well here. We put you up against the
amount of archers coming at me definitely was throwing me off a little bit.
and this is a pretty good AI. The standard AI really does know how to play the game.
And we got about 5 minutes, so yeah.
Okay, cool.
We-
Zach can show
we
you
go a
a
little
couple
over,
of
it's fine.
more
It's not a big deal.
advanced techniques. He's using a lot of hotkeys, which allows him to go quickly between the buildings.
He's efficient as hell compared to me. I was like, click, click.
So many
But it's
idols
kind
to
of a fun
fix.
thing when you start out to watch a good player. You can start to realize, like, oh wow, that's how they do it. Like that's how I'm supposed to be playing the game. It can be a really fun experience.
All about that APM.
The what?
The APM. Actions per minute.
Yeah.
Okay,
just
I
a
think
little-
we've got a little bit more resource now to play with. Let's just try and maybe
He's trying to mop up my mess a little bit.
Yeah.
yeah, it's
The
very
chat's cheering for you.
it's very difficult to it's kind of like a lot of the process a lot of it is in the process, I should say. So the process of building up to set things up in a way that I guess that works very well. But we'll take this sheep now as well. Let's see where my army's at. So it's a decent army down here. We could probably do some damage with
I
those
did one thing
guys.
right.
You did a really good job at keeping those stables busy, because I think this army can swing the game in our direction. The red player most likely has a much better economy, but if we can get in there and kill 10 villagers, the game can be back closer to
Oh,
equal.
yeah, I didn't think about that. Okay.
So Zach's going to try to run into this area. He's going to try to
assassinate some villagers.
The way the AI builds their bases, it's like it's never walled, but it's always hard to get in because they do they stagger their buildings a lot. So I kind of want to come over here. I want to find that wood line because they must be gathering wood somewhere, and I'm guessing it's back
oh, yeah,
here.
there's the lumber yard.
So if we can find the villagers over there, that's going to be great. Obviously, we're going to keep making knights. We're going to set our gather points down here as well. Let's see if we can find the villas. And those units at the back are very slow. So we can get in here and find some
there
villas.
we
Let's
go.
split our units a little.
There they
We're
are.
going to like attack move over here, and we'll leave them to it for the time being. We've got another town center up down here now as well. We're going to build another lumber camp over there. We're going to make sure to get our upgrades. We're going to keep making as many knights as possible. And we're actually starting to win over here now as well. So
People
let's
are
see if I can
very
hit the
impressed
goal with
now.
this
They're like,
group.
wow, this is very impressive.
Well,
You're
he's good
definitely
under
looking at
pressure.
level 1, level 100.
Well, he's good under pressure too, because we didn't plan for him to play, and it's a kind of an awkward tape. You know, it's not your home office, right?
Oh yeah, no,
But,
no.
he's
You're
picking it
you're
up
working
and
in somebody else's
It's
workshop.
looking good. It's looking good. So now we're taking our military advantage and turning it into an economic advantage by killing villagers. And in a sense, the game is going to start sliding the other way. If you look in the bottom right of the screen, you see the scores. you can see now us, the blue player, is leading in the scores. And that's a
Oh,
prediction
yeah, we pulled ahead.
of our military power and our economic power at the same time. And Zach's spreading units throughout this eco. He's causing chaos.
Oh, yeah, he's really disrupting their entire ecosystem. Basically what his archers did to me.
Yeah, and he's not killing every villager, but he's stopping them from working.
Yeah.
Keeping them distracted, keeping them going.
It's looking good.
There's not many places for a good TC out here. It's all hilly. I can't place one down. So we're just down 2 TCs. And we really want to come and end this game. So we're going to come over here and drop a forward siege workshop. We're going to let our knights just kind of roam around. I have these hotkeyed as well, so I can very easily jump back and forth between certain things.
I was going to say, the hotkey flips I'm noticing are making a big difference.
And we're actually housed, which is something that I struggle with all the time. Getting housed a lot is a common problem. So even pro players are getting housed fairly often. And in this moment, it's great to do your upgrades, like handcart, for example. We do need to get these upgrades too. But
will the AI concede? Oh, or will the AI concede, or do you have to wipe them out?
The AI will concede. Sometimes they make you really wipe them out, and sometimes they don't. It's kind of a it's hit or miss. Sometimes they know, like right now, the writing is kind of on the wall for this AI.
Yeah.
It's saying
he's
like,
really pulling ahead, in points.
It's saying like, clearly this guy was playing me, and now he's flipped into a special mode, and he's ready to steamroll me. But it will hang in for a little bit longer until it's truly defeated.
Yeah, I'm going to drop that forward siege workshop there to try and just kind of
put some power behind some of that damage.
On. Yeah, exactly. We have more knights over here, which we gathered up as well. And we're basically, we're going to take over now. I'm also going to grab this relic because it's blocking my farm, which is really annoying me. I want to put a farm here, but the relic's in the way, so I'm going to grab that too. As you do.
I bet the habit to put things in certain places probably is very also peculiar to every player.
So right now we've not actually got that much gold, so I'm going to build a market, and we're going to try and sell some of our excess resources to try and get some more gold. So right now, I mean, we're pushing him away, but I can't really afford the siege. I can't afford this mangonel, which I want. But we do have a lot of wood, so I can sell some wood.
So you're going to sell some wood in trade so that
way get some more gold, and then I can use that gold to basically make the mangonel. I'm not going to end the game until we've done that. So idle villager here, more houses all the time. Finally get this upgrade too. Got a few more. How's our monk doing? We've got the relic. We can grab that. Now I can put a farm there, thankfully. All right, so here's the market, and we're going to sell a little bit of this, a little bit of this. We got a bit of excess gold now, which I'm making more knights with. Actually, I should cancel a couple of knights and then build another mangonel.
Someone's talking about KTS. They're saying you have enough KTS to kill the TC.
ATS?
Yeah, I don't know what that means though.
Maybe they mean attack.
Oh,
I don't know.
I didn't know if it was lingo I didn't understand.
No, I don't know what they mean by that. But the mangonel does a lot of damage, and it has bonus versus buildings.
Knights.
Oh, knights. Okay, of course, yeah. It's weird to hear it like KTS.
Yeah, at this point, Zach can run in with his knights and kill the town center. It's again, it's a cost-benefit thing. He's got enough siege that he's certainly going to win this game, so there's no reason to go too crazy. He's also hitting that town center from a distance, which the TC can't defend itself. He's starving his opponent of gold. You can see the scores are really swinging in the blue player's favor, mostly, I think, because of the great early economic build that blue had that's catapulted.
I think you're just being nice now. I think you're just being
set
nice.
Up well.
The only thing I was doing good was lumbering. That's the only
I think you did really well. I mean, we put you up against a pretty decent AI here, and in the end, it looks like Zach's going to finish it off. This game is effectively over.
Yeah.
Red player's in trouble.
You definitely have the stronger up now. His economy is pretty much stalled, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's basically not doing anything anymore. He's got a few villages here or there, but that's why we're splitting our units around to try and see, okay, is he gathering stone, for example? Is he gathering wood? And as soon as this town center goes down,
there they go.
You're going to see all the villagers are going to pop out.
Just
and I should have been
like
here
ants.
Yeah, I should have been here with the knights to kill them, to be honest. But we can do the attack upgrade as well. And I mean, really, at this stage, we've got this.
This game is one that we can end now. Like, we can push in the Castle Age and finish them off. But, of course, if it was a little closer, we'd go to Imperial Age. We'd try to get new techs. We'd try to beat him with a better quality army.
Get a little bit bitter. Oh, there it is.
And here
You're
you go.
victorious.
Ah, we are victorious.
Yeah,
We
you
are
guys did it.
victorious.
I'll take
You guys
20%
did it.
credit for that. That's great. Again, so this was Age of Empires. Again, we're not here to show like a brand new Age 4 content or something crazy like that. We just kind of wanted to reminisce with you guys about this whole week. This week has been very age appropriate, age themed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's great to see all the love for an RTS that's been around for a while, and frankly, deserves its time to stay in the sun, and it's kind of good to see that. So
It's been really great to be here. Thanks so much for having us.
yeah, no,
This was
again,
great.
had a
for
good
chat
time.
who's here, again, want to thank Tyler, a.k.a. Killer B, Zach, a.k.a. ZeroEmpires, of course, Alex here on my right for joining me as well. This was fun. Thank you guys for hearing. We're still going. Hang tight. We're going to swap out guests, so stay right here.